episode 8. It's going to be great. Thank you all for listening to episode 7 and At Will podcast. Bear, Brandon, what do you think?
How long did it take you to come up with 8 rhyming with great today?
About 3.5 seconds.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's longer than other things you do.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, but I was hoping you would say that to Brandon, not myself.
Who's Brandon? He's here?
Yeah. Are you here, Brandon?
Brandon.
I guess, yeah. I'm here.
Didn't see you over there. You were too busy pounding those shark gummies, so I couldn't find you deep in those.
Well, they were delicious.
Well, at least he's pounding something.
How about this? How about we just get this one out right now? Brandon, what is your weight at today? Because I see you over there sweating bullets, so you have to be at like 296.
You would think with this damn heat that's going on, but 298 point something, so.
So you've lost a couple ounces. I like
a couple ounces, yeah.
That's not too
bad. Did the DDP yoga today, too, so hopefully that'll help.
So when, since we're talking about rhyming, before we get into everything, what have you guys been listening to Eminem's new album and MGK coming right back at him 2 days later?
Yeah, listen to Eminem's new album Friday after you told me, Gary, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was a mixture. It was more old Eminem, but definitely, with some new vibe on that. I like how he's going after him, but I love how MGK rebutted on it.
Oh my gosh.
It was beautiful, and he didn't. I mean, it was definitely a diss, but I thought it was a pretty good diss. To be honest with you,
pretty respectful diss, and I mean, I like to see it. They have a music video for it. Did you see that yet?
I did. That's what I watched. I watched it on YouTube.
Unreal. Yeah. He came out with it 2 days later, and he came after him. So Eminem's going to come back, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the music and side of things.
Now, Brandon, we're talking about people, not peanut or peanut butter or caramel.
I know. When you said M&Ms, I was thinking about the peanut butter M&Ms I had 2 days ago. So.
Well, I thought you were thinking about Kyle Busch when we talked about M&Ms.
No, not at all. But I did hear some pretty good things about the album. I have not listened to it yet. I heard that I need to, yes.
It's on Spotify, so after people listen to our podcast, they should go listen to Eminem's new album.
Kamikaze. And it's better than Revival, a lot different. Revival, which would be his album that came out last year.
Yeah, which was, pretty good and mellow for Eminem standards. But, I mean, he brought back Paul Skid. I think I texted you and told you I was pretty excited about that. I mean, that hasn't been in an album since probably like 03 or 04, I would imagine. Encore, maybe.
And then MGK called out Paul Rosenberg when he said that. That was great in the song. So as we get into this, thanks to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time, as always. Check him out at Wes Anderson Music on Facebook and give him a follow on Twitter at Wes_Infinite. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, the official merchandise provider for Over the Line Sports Podcast. If you're interested in doing business with them, mention Over the Line Sports Podcast, and the owner, Brandon, not the Brandon here, will give you a great deal on your clothing needs. Also, thanks to Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. Check them out at Facebook at Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. You can also give them a call or text 419-704-5471. They serve the Toledo and surrounding area. Mention Over the Line Sports Podcast, and Sean will give you a discount on services. So, as we get into things, Bear, I know let's just jump right into golf. I want to hear what you thought this past week, what happened, what's going on, how'd your lineup do in DraftKings? What do we got?
Well, Bryson won again. He's won now the first 2 playoff events and has taken a huge 2,200 point lead in the FedEx Cup standings. I wouldn't say it's quite over yet, but that's going to be pretty hard unless he finishes last here the next couple of weeks. There's no cuts in these next 2 tournaments. Top 70 are going to be here in Philadelphia this weekend at the BMW Championship.
And where are they playing that?
That's in Newton Square, Pennsylvania. It's outside of Philadelphia. It's the I should have. I'm going to give my best Brandon effort on this. I think it's called the Aaron Mink Golf Club.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Aaron Mink or
if you used my guess, then you're probably right.
I like Aronimink, Aaron Mink, Aronimink, one of the two. I have no idea. A little bit about the golf course though. This week, it's a par 70 course, 7,200 yard Donald Ross course. They haven't played a PGA Tour event here in 2011, since 2011, excuse me.
And didn't they play it back-to-back years, 2010 and
2011? 2010, 2011, the AT&T National hosted this. Before that, they played the 1962 PGA Championship, 1977 U.S. Amateur, 1997 U.S. Junior Amateur, and 03 Senior PGA Championship. Other than that, there hasn't been a lot at this course. So coming into this week was about impossible to study. I mean, granted, there's only 70 golfers. There's going to be no cut. Fowler's back. So, everyone's there. They got your top 70. And like I said, not quite everyone's out of it, but I was kind of doing some research and some numbers, and I pretty much have, the top 14 guys right now in the FedEx Cup standings. My guess would be the ones who can probably win this, and that's a stretch. The only reason why I say that, those guys are about, I think, a little bit less than 2,000 points out. So, with 2 weeks left, if you win, you get 2,000 FedEx Cup points. Second's 1,200. So pretty much, Bryson's going to have to go next to last in the next two tournaments, and somebody down there is going to have to win the next two tournaments to have any sort of shot to win this. I don't see it happening, especially with a lot of the other guys up there. DJ up there, Brooks up there, Rose up there. It's going to be an interesting next couple weeks of golf. But as long as Bryson goes top 10, he's not losing. Even if he goes top 20, he's probably not losing, to be honest with you. Unless DJ wins this week, then he's going to be in some trouble, and it'll be fun going into the Tour Championship.
Now, did you see the next event that's going to be there is the LPGA's playing there in 2022?
I did not.
And then the PGA Championship will be there in 2027.
2027. Okay, so that's a little bit of ways away.
You think Tiger's still golfing then?
Let's see. That's 9 years away. He'll be 42 this year, so it's possible as long as his body holds up. I mean, technically by then he'll be allowed to play on the Senior PGA Tour. So he'll be probably able to dominate that if they go there. But I have a feeling that Tiger's still going to play with the young kids as we go.
Quick question for you. So if they play on the Senior PGA, are they allowed to play on the PGA as well?
Yes, they can do both. Like you've seen guys, Bernard Longer, Tom Watson, Jack Arnold back in the day. These guys who've won majors and they're invited back over and over and over again. They can play whenever they want. A lot of the guys have obviously retired at the bigger courses like St. Andrews. You remember Jack walking over the 18th Bridge. Same thing with Arnold. Same thing at the Masters. There's a lot of times you got those iconic moments in golf. So yeah, Tiger winning all the majors he has will still be invited to every major for the rest of his career.
Good. And do you see or foresee? Wonderful. And what are you drinking there?
Well, thanks, Arnold Palmer Spiked.
Yes. And you are welcome from your gracious cooler here at the ex-wife's house and garage. I took it out of the cooler. It was sitting over there. Somehow that thing is still on ice. So I don't know if they had a party last night or something, her and her boyfriend, but I appreciate the Arnold Palmer Spiked. We are going to enjoy them.
Yeah, I think I'm going to enjoy it. Brian, are you going to enjoy yours?
Sure, absolutely.
You don't even have one in front of you.
I
So
know.
you just lied to our entire audience.
No, I'm having a Powerade. I think it's cherry.
That's fruit punch, actually.
Fruit punch, delicious.
Exciting.
So yeah,
Okay, what did you think of the golf tournament this past weekend?
to be honest, I did not watch one. What would
Stroke?
you call it? Stroke. There you go.
Stroke.
So I saw.
Slowly
I didn't even see where
stroke
Spieth.
me.
I know I picked Spieth. I don't even know where he's finished. I think he was up there towards the end.
I don't even know where our guys finished.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
Rory was
Stat-
top 10, I know
That
that.
guy's not here, so he's not here yet.
Well, yeah, he's just like you. He was late. Something like that.
Rory was top 10, I know that. It's all that matters on my end. Hey,
Yeah, so-
did you see that, Bear? Rory did good for somebody else other than you.
See, and
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen. Actually,
Right, yeah.
actually, Rory and Jordan both were 10 under. So they tied 12th, I think, was what 10 under was.
And
I'm
who-
pretty sure.
Here we go.
And I had Stenson. He tied for my favorite number of all time, which is
69.
thank you. So I figured that was a great pick for me. It's like a win.
Beautiful. And so this week, we can kind of just jump right into this. Who are some top-tier guys, mid-tier guys, low-tier guys that you are thinking about this week?
Well, see, like I said, not having played anything here since 2011, it's been 7 years. Looking at research, I was trying to find guys who have any sort of course history here. And most of those guys with course history are mid-tier guys and low-tier guys. So that's kind of where I'm going to start. Adam Scott, 8,700, has a tied third here back in 2011, and he's been playing some okay golf here lately. So I'm not scared to throw him in the lineup at 8,700. Webb Simpson also playing great golf right now. Was tied 8 here in 2011, 8,100. I think I'll pair them up, no problem at all. One of the low-end guys, probably I'll have 2 low-end guys, to be honest with you, out of these 3 that I want to name here. Charles Howell III played here also. He actually tied third with Adam Scott as well back in 2011. CT Pan and Charles Howell, I should both say, are $6,900 on DraftKings. CT Pan had a big week last week. I think he moved up from like 92nd all the way to 54th to get into this tournament. Got a tied second or third, I think, last week. I can't recall which. but he's been playing well. I think he had a tied 40th at the Northern Trust, so he'd be a guy to play. The last guy I got on the low end, Peter Uihlein, 6,800. He's one of those guys that are sitting about 46 right now in the FedEx. He needs a good finish to get to top 30 to get to Atlanta. So I like playing guys who have a lot to play for. They're going to leave it all out there. For the top guys, as I'll go back, DJ's top this week at 11-6. He's never a bad play as long as you just have enough people to match with him. My favorite play, though, of the week, top guy, he's number 2, Justin Rose, 11-2. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that's my pick this week. I think he's winning this golf tournament. He just had a great week. He got up to 3rd in the FedEx Cup. So I think that he wins this week. I think he makes it really interesting next week, puts a lot of heat on Bryson, DJ, those guys. I think it's going to be a fun tour championship. So I'm officially making my pick Justin Rose. But I want to give you to you. I can't get away from it. Bryson at 10 grand. I mean, the dude's on fire right now. He's won 2 weeks in a row. It's hard not to play him, and especially at 10 grand, he should be the 3rd or 4th up here at probably like 10-9, 11,000 to be honest with you. So I think you're getting a pretty good discount if you play Bryson this week.
I have a low-end guy, Brian Harmon, 6,700. He's made 20 of 23 cuts as 7 top 10s. I think he is a good value pick this week. Also, kind of mid-range guys, 7,600, Henrik Stenson, who you had last week. He's got 17 of 19 cuts and 7 top 10s. And at 7,700, Tyrell Hatton, I saw kind of what he had going on. And he's playing tough, and he's been doing pretty well this year as well. I like watching him when he's yelling at himself on the course. It's one of my favorite things to watch. Cam Smith, he's 7,800. He's hit or miss at times. Fowler, like you mentioned, he's back. He's only at 9,000. He's a value pick.
I just can't do Ricky this week. I can't play him coming off of a couple weeks. I think it's been 3 weeks. He hasn't played golf now. An oblique is not something that's comfortable. Even though he says that he's healthy and he's ready, I don't know if I believe it. I'm going to stay away, but don't be surprised if Ricky comes out and wins the tournament this week. I mean, he finished 3rd in this tournament last year. Granted, it wasn't at this course, but he did play this course in 2011. I think he was like tied 7th or something. So,
and I think I'm kind of scared to make my pick now because you've been doing so great in golf this year. My pick is also Justin Rose, who has won this tournament before in the past. And he is also 20 of 21 on cuts. So he's only missed 1 cut, and he has 14 top 10. So I think he's a good pick here. He has experience here. Granted, it was 7 years ago, but I think it's still a good choice. And he is running second this week only to DJ in terms of money and value in DraftKings. Brandon, what do you got?
Okay, so I don't play DraftKings like you guys know, but I'll give a sneaky pick, 33-1, John Rahm. I think he's going to have a good week this week. Top 10, I believe he'll finish. My pick, 9-1, Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
You haven't picked him yet?
No.
No? Oh, yeah, you went Tiger Spieth. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't even remember who I went. I went
You went Tiger,
Rory, now Justin Rose.
And I went Spieth Stenson, so now we got 2 Roses and a DJ up there. It'll be a good week of golf. It should be fun. Unfortunately, with football this week, I will not watch any of golf, most likely.
Oh, no, I will not be either.
No?
No.
Why?
I will not watch any golf.
Well, why is that?
Well, I'm going to be watching NASCAR, plus the NFL, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, you should have said NFL first, then NASCAR.
Well, yes. I'm sorry. NFL first. Browns play at 1.
You're not
NASCAR's at 2.
I think we can bridge this gap, though. Since you just mentioned NASCAR, we can go right into NASCAR. Brandon, recap us Darlington, the Bojangles Southern 500. What happened?
Bojangos, Kyle Larson.
Bojangles, not
That's what I said.
Bojangos.
I said Bojangles.
This isn't Django Unchained. It's Bojangles.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
It's Bojangos Unchained. This is what we got here.
No, first
that
of all,
that might be the name of the episode.
Brandon Unchained is what it is right now.
Bojangles Unchained.
First of all, that was a good movie.
Bojangles Unchained.
All right, so yeah, Darlington, Bojangles, 500. Kyle Larson dominated. He should have won. That race really came down to the last caution. And Brad Keselowski, my pick, just to let you know, last week. Thank you, Gary, for that. Almost throwing me off topic. Just beat Kyle Larson. Yeah, just literally beat Kyle Larson right out of the pit stall. Like, I don't even know, by a foot. So, and that ended up being the factor right there. Brad Keselowski won.
Which means also that who else won here? Who picked Brad Keselowski?
I did. That's what I said.
Yeah.
I said that when you were,
I
opening
want to
up the
remind
race.
everybody
Yeah, so
that you actually won something this year. You won.
He won the first race of the year.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, you had Harvick.
I mean, there's a
so
big-
you're looking good in NASCAR, but your average is not looking too
no,
high.
my average is not looking good, but
Because you had that last place finish with
I did with
Logano.
So, but hey, I was last in the results, but number one in my heart. Always remember that.
Hold on a second. Who did I have last week?
You had Hamlin,
Where did he finish?
10th.
So all of my picks have been top 10 this year.
Congratulations.
And
Thank you. You're
You're
welcome.
I have
There
Harvick, who finished 4th. So
You're gaining some ground here.
I am
So we had a
gaining
first,
ground.
we had a first, fourth, and 10th. That's pretty good.
I think that's
Yeah.
pretty good for NASCAR. I mean,
So
And you know what else sucks about NASCAR? I'm sorry, Brandon. That just when I thought when we were doing our football draft this weekend, I thought that for DraftKings we had our NASCAR group in, and we did not.
yeah, I'm not going to lie. I didn't put my NASCAR lineup into something else for the first time in a while. I don't know why.
So are you the reason?
No, I mean, I put it in ours. I just normally put it in another lineup as well, and I didn't because I just like to see what I do in a tournament, so I don't even remember who I had. There was a lot of drinking this last weekend, so I don't remember a lot, to be honest with you. But, going into that, I didn't watch the race, so I don't really care. Like you said, Brandon won. Great pick. I was 4th. Gary was 10th. I think good picks to all of us. Going into Brickyard this week, last week before the playoffs, just doing a little bit of research. We'll get into the NASCAR playoffs here in a couple minutes. Just doing a little bit of the research. There's been 24 races here. I think they started in 94. 11 of those 24 winners have started in the first 2 rows. So
Really?
one through 4.
may I ask who won the first race in '94?
Nobody cares.
The Rainbow Warrior. I know.
Absolutely,
We
Jeff
know.
Gordon.
It's okay. You know what kind of sucks, though? We could actually... this week is... Usually they race at Brickyard on...
Like July, right?
Last week of July.
Yeah, late July,
Yeah, is it the last week of July they usually do it?
usually.
Yeah, and it's super hot out there, so it's kind of hopefully this weekend's looking like it's going to be better weather. But now they're competing with the NFL, so they were already losing fans and losing the attendance. I think it's going to go down even more.
Yeah, I think it is just because I think they wanted to do it to amp it up going into the playoffs.
And the
But-
Colts are at home this week.
Yeah, the Colt. Yeah,
Ooh,
it's
going to be a mess.
it's not looking good with NASCAR this week as far as people watching or people even being there, especially with them going up against the first week of the NFL. I could see it being if the NFL was in like week 5, but not the first week of the NFL.
They should do a Saturday night race there on this weekend. It'd be a perfect weekend.
That'd be cool. No, I'm talking. It
Do
doesn't
they have lights there?
I don't even know if they have lights there.
It doesn't matter what week.
Oh,
of the
they
NFL
have
it
to
is.
because I believe they do because we did Rolling Stones there a couple years ago. We did the merchandise over there, so I'm pretty sure they do.
Well, I think you know where you're going. I think I know where you're going. This Brickyard, yes. The Indianapolis Speedway is one of the iconic racetracks in the world. So I know they could do it any week against the NFL, but I think the first week it's gonna be
That's tough. I totally agree.
No, I don't think any week in the NFL they'd even come close.
No,
No,
they
I don't care
absolutely
if
would
the
not come
Colts. I
close.
don't care if the Colts are home or away or what, but definitely not the first week. Definitely not with Andrew Luck coming back. There's no way in hell.
Is he back for sure?
Oh yeah, he's starting week
Yeah,
1.
he's
Is he?
start- yeah, he's
Awesome.
starting with
I missed it so far this week.
So anyways, with the Brickyard coming up, Jeff Gordon's won there a few times. It seems like it's been a Hendrick dominated race over the years. Jimmy Johnson's won 4 times. Recent history, Kyle Busch has won 2 of the last 3 years, and last year Casey Kane won. Just to get right into my pick again, it's the last week before the playoffs. I am going to take Kyle Busch because I will have to choose when I want to take him here in the playoffs because there's 12 races in the playoffs? 10 races in the playoffs.
So you get him one time.
So I only get him 1 out of those 10 races.
Brandon, are you going to take him
Choose
one time out of
correctly.
10?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, you would be dumb if you didn't.
Yeah, I'm
Are
going to
you
agree.
are you trying to win or are
We'll
you
see.
trying is pride
Now, are we also
the fan hat is like going to be tilted? So I
are
don't
we
know.
also resetting our points?
No, hell no. No
Okay, so we're
resetting
just
it.
gonna
We're
keep
rolling
going.
right through.
All right, perfect. So, Brandon, I'll just get into mine, Bear, since we agreed on Justin Rose. We're going to agree on Kyle Busch. I'm going to take him again. This will be the 4th time out of 6, which, he's gotten me a second, a first, and a third so far, so I'm okay with it. So, actually, this is 4 out of 7 I've taken him. But in the playoffs, like you mentioned, I can only take him once.
Yep.
But how can you not take him when this guy has dominated this track?
You have to.
Yeah,
You have to.
He won 2 in a row. I think.
Last year he crashed.
Last year, him and Truex were going at it. Crashed on the last lap or second to last lap.
Yep.
which brought out the overtime, and that's how Casey Kane won. I don't even think Casey Kane even led a lap until that last lap, which it counts. But
Okay, you can't be me. Stop eating my bugles, first of all. Actually, I'll give you a pass because you did bring out Sloppy Joes for me. But no more of the bugles. Stop eating them.
You're welcome.
I'm hungry.
so
Those came straight out of the truck, by the way.
How many Sloppy Joes did you have in there?
Me?
Yes.
1.
Gary.
Swear.
Gary.
I had 1 in the truck. And on the good book, only had 1.
I don't believe it.
Well, it's true, my friend.
What book is that?
The good book. I'm still trying to remember.
I hope they serve beer in hell. Well, I mean, what book is that? That was a good book.
I'm still trying to cut weight like Brandon. So it's
Moby
cutting
Dick.
season.
Moby Dick was a good book.
Yes, it was.
I did read that actually. You're looking at me like I didn't read that, but I did. So suck it.
Brandon, who you got this week?
I was going back and forth between Harvick and Chase, but since this is the last week that I can pick them, before I can pick them again for only one more time, I'm going to go with Chase.
Really?
Yes, Hendrick is going to dominate. Hendrick Motorsports is going to dominate this week, I believe.
No way.
Chase will win. Jimmy
No way.
Johnson, he's won here 4 times. He'll be a top 10.
You know how many
guarantee it.
wins
Write
Chevys
it down.
have this year?
Write it. I don't care.
So there have been
Write it
25 races this year. You know how many Chevys have won?
2?
I don't care.
2.
2.
One of them
care.
is Chase. Who's the other? I don't. Stat guy. Is it Stack? Is he passed out?
He's laying in that hockey
No,
net over
there's
there.
only been one. Jimmy
Should-
Johnson hasn't won.
There's more Chevys than that. They've won 2
Chevy.
races.
I'm sorry. I was going Hendrick.
Not Hendrick. No, Chevys. So stat guy, once he wakes up, hopefully we'll get on that. He's got a bunch of Miller Lite. Has he shared a Miller Lite with you yet?
Not yet.
Of course he hasn't. So you've got Chase. We've both got Kyle. Should be interesting at NASCAR at Indy this week. Also, like you had said, sneaky pick for me. Sneaky pick, Brandon. Sneaky pick, Jimmy Johnson. He has done nothing this year. He's won 4 times at this
yeah,
track.
And he needs to win to get into the playoffs.
Well,
so.
he's locked. He's already locked.
in.
It doesn't.
Wait.
He's 15 out of 16, and he's 80 points
No,
ahead.
he
Oh,
is
is it?
not. He is
I thought-
not locked in.
Yeah, he's locked. He's 80 points ahead.
No, I'm looking at the standings. Right
80
now.
points ahead of 17.
80 points of head or ahead?
Ahead. Sorry.
How do you get 80 points ahead exactly?
Well, I don't want to talk about that right now, but
Well, I'm just at like Al Snow. What does everybody want? Like I don't know what kind of head you're talking about.
so he's 80 points ahead of 17. So even if that guy behind him wins, he would just drop to 16th. No big deal. He can't be passed.
So what? Bowman's on the
Okay.
bubble then.
Or wait a
Hold
minute.
on.
Hold on a second.
Hold on.
Wait,
I'm-
he's 80 ahead of 17.
You have
but
to. You have to. Are you looking at the playoff points?
no,
Okay, that's where it counts. Because no, he is not.
it does
allowed.
not count with the playoff points.
Yes, it does. That's what it counts.
That's not how they do it. No, it's by wins is how they do it, and then it's regular season points overall. So the top 16 is a cutoff. If you won a race, you're automatically in.
Okay, well, I'm looking at it right now, and the P stands for clinched playoff berth, and it's everybody 1 to 14.
He's not a. You're
Jimmy
right.
Johnson is 15th. and
Yeah,
he is
he's not a lock. Here's
he's
why.
not-
Let me
he's
see
not-
that.
He has
real
not
quick.
clinched.
Here's why he hasn't clinched. If Alex Bowman, well, he's only 19 points ahead of Bowman. So if somebody that's 17 or past, so you are correct. He hasn't technically clinched.
But he will because he's going to get a top 10.
If he does, yeah, if he's got a top 10, he's in. But if he finishes top 15, he's in
Yeah.
because he's 19 points ahead of Bowman. So, well, Bowman would get bonus points if he won.
And-
But if Bowman won, Stenhouse is 68 behind Bowman.
Yeah, Stenhouse
So-
literally needs to win this race to get in, I believe.
Yeah, anybody that's 17 or further back needs to win to get in. So Newman is somebody here that could jump ahead, and
He's
and
a
it would
former winner.
it would
Yep.
only knock Jimmy out if Jimmy finishes behind.
Newman.
It would only knock Jimmy out if he finishes 19 places behind Bowman. So if Jimmy crashed and Bowman finished ahead and Newman won, yeah, Jimmy's out.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Jimmy's in. I think he's
I-
top 10, like you said.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay in. I mean, I don't unless he wrecks on like the first lap, but no, I don't think
And
he's gonna
also
get kicked out.
previous current drivers that have won here, Paul Menard and Jamie McMurray. So keep an eye on those guys as well. Not bad picks, but something I wanted to get into before we jump off of NASCAR. Furniture Row Racing, done. Barney Visser is done. They are done. They're closing up shop. If you looked at that, getting sponsorship for the year with 5 Energy dropped out, and he said it's about $20 million to front a team. He's like, I'm not doing it. It's not an investment he's worth doing. And so we saw, did you see Truex where he's going?
Yeah, I saw him going to Joe Gibbs.
He's going to be teammates with Kyle Busch.
That's something
Gonna
I
dominate.
Driving that 19 car. Suarez is out.
Yeah, I feel bad for Suarez because I don't think he's going to get picked up.
He hasn't
again.
done it. Yeah, his best finish is second. He's a good driver.
Yeah,
he might go somewhere else, but
he's a very good driver. I would like to see him go somewhere else. I'd like to see him stay in NASCAR,
he could drive for what, Roush, because they can't get a guy to drive the 6. I could see him going to Roush because they don't trust Trevor Bayne. Kent's is old. They don't trust him. Suarez would be all right at Roush.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see. He's not gonna. He won't go to Penske. Penske won't add a third. They're sticking with 2 with Logano and Keselowski. But
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, just as a preference, I mean, I spent $4,200 at Furniture Row, so I don't know where they don't have $20 million at. If that was just me alone.
Well, remember that one time where if it rained more than 3 inches on a Sunday, they had to give back all the furniture. It was $1 million.
It snowed,
Yeah.
It was
crazy.
I think it rained like it
Or snow.
snowed.
I said rain.
Sorry.
Sorry, it's snow.
It snowed a lot that day.
And they paid a lot of money. They lost a lot of money that day. And speaking of money, I don't know if you guys have heard. So right now, youth sports is back here in our school district, and you can go get your soccer and football gear at All Wear Clothing. They have soccer shorts and soccer jerseys, reversible soccer jerseys for your youth that are playing in the soccer that starts this weekend. Football also starts. The football in this area is sponsored by NFL Flag. And so you get your jerseys from your team, but if you need shorts or to get your name on the back of your jersey, you can take it to All Wear Clothing, and they will happily put your name on the back of your football jersey. So check out All Wear Clothing, and they will take care of your youth needs, especially with soccer and football starting this weekend. Also, fall season is upon us, so we know those leaves are about to be falling. It's supposed to be 70 degrees tomorrow, a high of 60 on Friday. Looking pretty good this week. So those
high
leaves,
of 60 on Friday?
I think 60 or 62 here, which would be great from this 90 and this humidity we're dealing with today and this whole past week.
I will cry in happiness.
Well, next week,
with
though,
your pumpkin spice latte?
Yes.
we're going to record next Wednesday later in the evening, but we could still see that it's possibly going to be humid. I bet it would be 95 next Wednesday. It wouldn't shock me. 60, 70. They know you're coming in the garage.
I think this is it. I think this is the last
Let's hope.
of summer. No, it's fine. If it stays from 65 to 75 for the next month and a half, I will be a very happy man.
I wish it was 70 all year long.
I can't wait till it's
we
like
can go move to San Diego, do the
out.
podcast there.
I wish San Diego, sunny and 70 all year long. That'd be beautiful. You know where else would be good to go and record? Philadelphia, just for tonight, though, because it's always sunny.
What is always sunny in Philadelphia? Season 13 starts tonight?
Yep, 10 o'clock, FXX.
God,
Is that right?
I am excited. I was watching a little bit of Season 7 last night, and I didn't text you this, but my Hulu ended up going out halfway through.
It did?
It did.
I told you, man.
It was
something was wrong.
It was like 11:45 last night. My Hulu just started spinning, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" And then Gary, you were telling me that yours was out, and you asked me, and I was like, "No," but I had another good hour of it, and I didn't even realize because I was sitting here doing research last night, typing away, and I look up, and I'm like, "Why is this still loading?" So I got on there, and I actually was. It was, bitching on Twitter a little bit, and the Hulu support tweeted me back today and told me, "Yeah, everything's good now. You just redo your stuff." I was like, "Oh, that's great. That would have been nice at 11:30 last night when I wanted to keep watching Always Sunny."
I almost tweeted them last night, but I didn't. So back to the fall weather, just to say, because leaves are falling on the ground, Crandall's Quality Lawn Care can take care of your leaf cleanup this year. And if you give them a call, 419-704-5471, and mention Over the Line Sports Podcast, Sean will give you a deal on getting your leaves cleaned up this year. And remember, Toledo and surrounding areas only. So those of you in California, Nevada, Maryland, now we have Ireland, the UK. We cannot come out there. Yeah, well, Norway, no.
Do they have leaves in Norway?
Sure. I don't know.
I'd like to visit Norway one day.
Well, that would be great. But Crandall's Quality Lawn Care will not be pulling leaves or cleaning up leaves in Norway right now. Maybe in the future he will grow big enough that it will be more than the Toledo and surrounding area, but currently Toledo and surrounding area. So for those listeners in Dayton, Columbus, Michigan, not happening. Sorry,
guys.
It's okay. One day maybe Crandall's Quality Lawn Care will come to you. So just a quick MLB update. In the AL East, the Red Sox are 8.5 up on the Yankees, sitting at 96-44. The Yankees have the second best record in Major League Baseball, but they're 8.5 games behind the Red Sox. AL Central, Cleveland, 15 games up on Minnesota. Fun fact, they're 17 games behind Boston. And if they were in the AL East, they'd be 8.5 games behind New York.
Well, they're not. So they're in first with a comfortable lead. They're going to win the division and hopefully get healthy here and surprise a couple people. I'm assuming you pulled this as most recent, like today, because yesterday they were only 14, and I know they won today, so I'm going to assume that's where you got that from.
This was today. Yeah. And Houston 3.5 up on Oakland in the AL West, and in the AL wild card, the Yankees are 4.5 up on Oakland, and Oakland is 5.5 up on Seattle. So you can pretty much, with a little over 20 games left, figure that Yankees are playing Oakland in the wild card game. Oakland, it more than likely will be in New York, but there is a small chance it could still be in Oakland.
And there's, a month left in the season? About, 23 to 25 games pretty much for all teams?
Some teams have 20 left. I think the Red Sox have 22 left. So
Yeah,
everybody's
I saw that.
around 20, 25. You're right.
I just put it in there, ballparking it.
Yep. In the NL East, Atlanta's 3 games up on Philly. NL Central, the Cubbies, Brandon's team, are 3.5 up on Milwaukee and 4.5 up on St. Louis. NL West, Colorado's a half game up on the Dodgers.
This is going to be a fun division coming down the stretch.
Half game up on the Dodgers and a game and a half on Arizona. And this wild card, Milwaukee is a game and a half up on St. Louis. And St. Louis is 1 game up on LA, 2 on Arizona, and 3.5 on Philly. Insane. 20 to 25 games left for everybody. It is going to be an interesting finish to the MLB season. Do you have any...
In the NL. Not quite the AL. The AL
Yeah, the
AL's pretty much done.
AL's pretty much done, you know.
But are you still okay with your picks that we got? I don't want to change. I don't think we should change them, but do you see anything else happening?
There's absolutely no changing. Gary, Red Sox over the Dodgers in 6. I think that's looking better and better every day. I have the Dodgers over the Astros. At this point, the Dodgers might not even make the playoffs, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. So
Same here.
That's a little bit scary.
And Brandon might be right with those Cubbies and the Red Sox, but I would say Red Sox are beating the Cubs.
I don't see the Cubs making it to the World Series. I know that they have the depth. I know they have the talent, but I just don't see it this year. They've been blah this year. I think, and it's not saying that they're blah in a bad way. It's just that they've had, they won the World Series 2 years ago. They've been great for the last 3 years, 4 years. I just don't think they're having one of those years, one of those magical years. So I just don't see the Cubs getting past the divisional, to be honest with you.
So, Bear, do you know what I want to get into next?
I don't know.
Actually, no. I wanted to get into college football. We had a good week 1. Bear in our picks was 8-3 and got his lock correct with Notre Dame beating Michigan.
Shut up, Brandon.
Go
Shut
away.
up.
I was unfortunately 5-6 with Brandon, but I did get my lock right. Ohio State picked it up at the end and scored, 77? 177-31.
Yep.
And Brandon missed his lock of Michigan State. They had a close game with Utah State and actually dropped 4 in the standings to 15.
Michigan State barely even won that game outright, let alone covering 23.5, which they weren't even close with. It was a good week for me in college football. Obviously, I lost on Michigan State, 23.5. I should have known better than that. What an idiot I am. Utah State, I mean, they're an team, but they're tough enough. And Michigan State always comes out and lays an egg the first week. I think the last couple of years when they played Western, don't get me wrong, Western had P.J. Fleck, and they were pretty good. But they've come out and they've not played great football to start the year, at home for some reason.
Well, we should know, like AJ said, which I agree with being an alum of Michigan State, that they always play close with the teams they shouldn't play close with, and then they can beat the teams in the games that matter, as we've seen in the past. And it'll be interesting to see what happens this week. So we can go right down the line.
I was about to say,
unless you have more, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to do. I was going to give you just a quick rundown of why we were at, just to give everyone to remember why we picked. I mean, Wisconsin was a 35.5 point favorite, 134-3. Gary, you lost that one. Brandon, I got it right. Brandon says FAU is going to keep it close over Oklahoma.
Was it 63-14?
Not even close. Ohio State, we all picked right. I picked Auburn. I called them outright. I called it 3 weeks ago when we went over the SEC preview. Said they were going to beat Washington.
You said it for a long. You said it I think 3 months ago.
Whenever we did the SEC preview or the Pac-12 preview, whichever it was, I just Washington coming across the country to play Auburn. Pretty much as a home game. Auburn was 90 miles away from campus in Atlanta. I mean, that was. To me, it was easy. It was an easy money. It was a really good game, actually.
And you have them winning out from here.
I do. I think Washington still will win out. They almost won that game. I mean, they had a lot of mistakes. They had a lot of red zone turnovers. They just couldn't. I think a couple missed field goals in the red zone. They just did not play that great there, but they're not going to falter to any other teams going out. I still think they're a pretty darn good-looking team. Obviously, Notre Dame, Brandon versus Kenny wasn't as exciting as I think everyone thought it was.
It was very exciting for me. I don't care about Kenny.
All I got to see, I told Bear I couldn't make it. The girlfriend was sick, so I had to go get some meds for her. And I ended up watching the game in the garage. Shiv came over, actually, and we just sat out here, watched it, and we were good to go.
What did you see?
Oh, your snap.
Which one?
The one with Brandon
Just clapping at
just
the TV?
clapping away.
Just squatting down. Just
And then
saying,
he said, yeah, you should squat, you little bitch. Talking about the Michigan player.
talking to Shea Patterson after he fumbled, but yeah, it was a good game. Actually, it wasn't a good game. Michigan made it closer than what it really should have been. Notre Dame pretty much dominated that game. And then turned into a defensive struggle late. Michigan made it look promising there at the end, but just they did have a drive to go down and tie that game. Realistically, at the end of the game, I felt like Notre Dame kind of gave up, thinking that they had it wrapped, and they kind of came back a little bit. Penn State, Appalachian State. That was.
But you did call that. You said that they come out and play week 1.
And Brandon and I both picked Appalachian State. I expected it to be close. I didn't expect it to be that close. Penn State.
Wasn't it overtime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Penn State was a 24-point favorite, and they had to go down and tie the game at the end. Appalachian State scored. Penn State came down, ended up tying the game, and ended up winning in overtime ultimately. But, yeah, Appalachian State, that was, 7 years to the day of the Michigan upset, I think?
It was 11.
11.
I was about to say, I feel like it's been more than that.
It was 07. So, yeah, it was 11 years to the day of the Michigan upset there in the Big House, probably the biggest upset in college football history. I would imagine Michigan was 5th at the time. So, yeah, that was exciting. Louisville, Alabama. Alabama blew the doors off of them. Brandon picked Louisville for still some reason I don't understand. The only one that Gary looked good on all week, LSU, Miami. Brandon and I both picked Miami. LSU absolutely blew the freaking doors off of them.
And you know why? Even though he didn't play that well, Joe Burrow leading that team, ex-Buckeye.
Joe Burrow played well from the second quarter on. He did not play well in the first quarter
not
at
at
all. But that was good to see. Like to see Joe Burrow succeed there. But I was shocked. My Miami predictions are looking very, very bad now. I figured they'd beat LSU, and they did not. Clemson. That was our bad beat of the week. I think we're going to bring that up because we're going to have a couple of those. 42.5-point favorites, ended up winning 48-7. Furman scored late in the game to get that 7. So that's kind of what a bad beat is for all those non-degenerate gamblers out there like Brandon. Gary, you know what a bad beat is. All the poker players, you understand what a bad beat is. It's pretty much when you have something set and then someone else pretty much gets lucky at the end.
And they do that. They show it on ESPN once in a while, the bad beats of the week.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see. One thing I do want to say, we got to give it to Brandon.
And this was the last one I was going to mention, so go right ahead.
Georgia beat Austin Peay 45-0. And if you listened to last week's podcast, Brandon said Georgia winning 45-0.
They were a
great call.
43-point favorite. And, they were up 45-0 well into the fourth quarter. So
Brandon, that was I give you credit. That was a great foreseeing of something.
I totally forgot that I said 45-0. I knew they were going to blow the doors off of them anyways. But
kind of like FAU was going to stay there with Oklahoma.
I just thought Lane Kiffin would have put up more of a fight. But
if you knew that Georgia was going to win 45-0 and the spread was 43, why didn't you just make it your lock?
I don't know. I really should have. I guess I didn't really understand the lock because maybe I don't know.
Come on, get out of here.
I don't know. Like I said,
lock of the week means you're guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't pick spreads and everything. I'm new to this, so I just pick
what about
winners.
Like a cream cheese spread on a bagel?
So that's good. That's good.
Well,
like
what spread?
Cinnamon cream cheese.
I was about to say what spread? Not original.
Cinnamon. No, not original. Original's up there, but no, it was great. First week of college football. Just to go back to the Notre Dame Michigan game, I just don't know what people was all about Michigan for. I know a couple of the big guys, on the networks picked them to be the national championship. If you really think about it, you bring Shea Patterson in there, a spread quarterback. He never ran a pro-style offense, not even in high school. And you throw him down there with Jim Harbaugh, who is a pro-style, offense coach, who is a great, quarterbacks coach. And you throw him into that system, and he was behind. He was behind center most of the game, and Shea Patterson's not used to that. And he just got beat up. He looked scared throughout the whole entire game. And I'm not saying Notre Dame's going to be great. We don't know. Is Michigan that bad, or is Notre Dame defense just that good? So we'll see how Michigan does. Like I said, they have a brutal schedule. The Big Ten is better than it has been. These last. It's been good for these last couple of years. Not like it was 6 years ago, but. I mean, Michigan's 8-4. I mean, I don't see.
That's
them.
what I said. If they beat Notre Dame, I thought they'd be 10-2. But now that they lost, I'm sticking with the 8-4.
No, I mean they're not going to beat Penn State. They're not going to beat Michigan State. They're not going to beat Ohio State.
I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Michigan State. Rivalry game. They're not beating Ohio State.
You got to give a little credit to Michigan's defense. I mean, after Notre Dame went up 14-0 right off the bat. Don't get me wrong, they went down the field and just straight marched on them and scored right away. But that second touchdown was lucky. I mean, it was in double coverage and should have been intercepted. The defender didn't get it. The Notre Dame wide receiver made a great play on the ball. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I'm saying that in double coverage, that was a stupid throw. And at no point should Wimbush have ever made that. He got away with it. They went up 14-0 and then scored 10 points over the last 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, I mean they went up 21-3. That 3rd and 18 just killed them. Wimbush scrambled out to the left and ran for 22 yards, got the first down, or maybe 19, but he got the first down. That killed them. Michigan's defense is definitely going to hold them, in games this year. Their offense, they couldn't run the ball. I think they had 22 carries on 58 yards, 57 yards. So the line play, the offensive line, they're definitely going to have to pick it up. This next week, they might have, I think Michigan's going to win this week, but I mean it's going to be close against Western Michigan. Yeah, it's going to be closer than the experts think. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't know. Put my fan hat back on. I was just laughing at all those people that were picking Michigan to win the national championship because I don't see it happening this year. I think Dylan McCaffrey played a little bit better than Shea Patterson, but we'll see.
That's about the only chance they have to win more than 7 games this year is if they keep McCaffrey in because Patterson is just not very good.
Well, let's get right into the picks this week. Alabama at home against Arkansas State, 36.5-point favorite. Brandon, tell me, who do you got?
Alabama, they cover.
They cover. Bear, what do you got?
You said 36.5?
Yes, sir.
Arkansas State?
Yep.
Who? Yeah,
give me Hornets.
Give me Alabama by 50.
All right, give me Alabama as well. Next.
Alabama wins by 43.
All right. Clemson, number 2 Clemson at Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is a 12-point dog, so they are starting off the game 12-0. Brandon, what do you got?
I think College Game Day is here this week, so this game should be good. I know Jimbo Fisher, this is his first year there. I think I'm going to go Clemson. You said 12?
Yeah, Clemson's a 12-point favorite.
I'm going to go give me Texas A&M to cover.
Okay, so there'll be 12. Bear?
12 is an odd number here, but yeah, Jimbo at Texas A&M. I know that they won the first week. I didn't see who they played or what they did, so it's going to be hard to judge. Clemson played Furman. I mean, at times looked blah. So yeah, I'm going to follow Brandon here. Give me Texas A&M plus 12.
And I'm going to go opposite of you guys and take Clemson in minus 12. So they need to win by 13 or more. Brandon, number 3 Georgia at 24 South Carolina. 10-point favorite for Georgia. So South Carolina starting off the game 10-0.
Another great game. I think this is going to be on CBS. Yeah, another great game. Give me Georgia, though. Wins outright by 14.
Okay. Bear?
Geez, this is going to be a tough one. I really wanted to go in the Georgia route, but at South Carolina looked good the first week. I think they keep it close, but yeah, I think Georgia ends up pulling away. To be honest with you, I think they win by 10, so this is going to be a push, so I'm just going to take Georgia.
Okay, I am also taking Georgia. Next game, Rutgers at number 4 Ohio State. Ohio State is a 35.5-point favorite.
Oh, they put the half on?
They did put the half on.
Damn it.
So, Brandon, what do you got?
Ohio State wins by 42.
Bear.
Good. I want to. They've destroyed Rutgers all the time. 63-10, Ohio State.
All right, and I also would like Ohio State.
45-7, Ohio State.
I'm going to say like 63-7. Go with last week's score. They're going to crush them.
Especially with Urban game playing this week and Ryan Day. Obviously, the defense didn't look great last week against Oregon State, but he was not stopping that offense. I think Haskins was playing into the fourth when they were up by 30.
And Haskins looked good, by the way. 5 touchdown passes. Beautiful.
The only Buckeye quarterback ever to start his career with 300 passing yards.
Awesome. Did not know. Stat of the
I think
day.
it was and 5 touchdowns.
And we did not need Stat Guy for that.
It was
300 yards and 5 touchdowns.
It was just 300 yards in general.
Yeah,
no Ohio State starting quarterback has ever. His first game was over 300 passing.
And he also had 5 touchdowns. So it's going to be tough for the future guys to top that. Next game, I struggled with this one, so I might even change my pick based on what we hear. But I'm going to stick with it for now. So New Mexico at number 5 Wisconsin, 35 points, not 35.5, 35 even. Wisconsin is favored by at home. Brandon, what do you got?
Wisconsin by 41.
Bear.
Wisconsin just beat? Who'd they just beat? I already forgot. Western Kentucky by
The 34 to 3.
31, and they're another
They
35.
didn't cover.
And they're another 35-point favorite. They're at home again. You know what? Give me New Mexico.
I thought about, I had New Mexico earlier, but since then I've had Wisconsin. I'm going to stick with Wisconsin. Next game, UCLA at number 6 Oklahoma, 30.5 points. UCLA looked like absolute trash in week 1.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Because the most mobile quarterback in the world is playing in a Chip Kelly offense? It's like shocking. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
right.
and Spate got hurt in what, 10 minutes?
Yep.
And the kid who came back in wasn't bad, but he is mobile, so that's what worries me a little bit. I'm going to go ahead of you, Brandon. Here, I think that I think that Oklahoma blows them out. Just as a side piece here, give me the over on this game, whatever it is. It's going to be a fast-paced game. Oklahoma just put up 63. I wouldn't be surprised if they put up 73 in this game. So whatever the over-under is here, my guess it'll probably be about 75. I'd say still take the over. Whatever it is, I think Oklahoma might just do it by itself, be dead honest with you.
Brandon?
I think this game is going to be closer. I'm going to say UCLA, covers.
Yeah, so they start off 30.5 to 0.
Yeah,
So
they'll cover.
okay, I am taking Oklahoma in this one. Next game, Alabama State at number 7 Auburn. You ready for this one? 50.5.
Oh, Jesus.
Good Lord.
Oh, that is very tough to pick. Brandon.
Alabama State?
Yes.
That's like the state of Alabama.
Oh my gosh. Why do SEC teams play these garbage teams?
Because it's the SEC. That's what they do. They can't play
gosh.
tough teams. They can't come up in a Big Ten country, so they stay
What
at
is that?
home.
Who plays Townsend this year? What, Alabama plays Townsend or something?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. Give me, you said 50.5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me Alabama State. I don't know, 48 to 3.
Nope. This is going to be like yours. This is going to be my Brandon Georgia pick of last week. Auburn 52-0. Covers.
All right, I'm taking Alabama State as well. 50.5 is a lot. Brandon, I just want to quickly go back to UCLA at Oklahoma. Quick stats for you. I don't have the spread yet, but I want you to know that UCLA in their last 7 games on the road, you know what their record is against the spread?
0-7.
Yeah, 1-6.
1-6. And Oklahoma in the last 8 games against the spread, 6-2. So just want to put that out there. But good luck to you. You never know. 1-6 could become 2-7. So we'll see what happens.
Didn't you
2-6,
take UCLA?
excuse me. What's that?
Didn't you take UCLA?
No.
I wrote that down wrong.
Yes, you did. I said
Sorry.
Oklahoma.
My bad.
Did you get my Alabama?
I did. I don't know why I wrote down UCLA for you.
Great. So Alabama State.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Alabama State I got against Auburn. So do you have all my picks? Bama, Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State,
Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Alabama State.
Perfect. All right. Ball State at number 8 Notre Dame. Here you go, Brandon. Fun one.
Yep, I'll be there. I want to see them blow them out of the water by 52. I'm going to say 55.
He didn't even give the spread yet.
No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
gonna,
matter. They're like a 34.5 point favorite.
He's got it on the nose.
Yeah. No, give me 56 to 14. That's 40, yeah.
So it is 34.5?
Yes.
Yeah, give me Notre Dame.
All right. I'm for fun. Give me Ball State. I'll take it. Whatever.
You're trying to get wins here, not keep going 5-6 every week, buddy.
Hey, that's okay. I got all season long to catch back up.
That's my point, is that you probably want to keep it close now before I just pull away.
Yeah, you won't pull away. You're good.
Oh, buddy.
You're not. North Dakota at number 9 Washington. 30-point favorite for Washington.
North Dakota. Is Carson Wentz still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, give me Washington.
That's North Dakota State.
Oh, so this isn't North Dakota State?
No.
Oh, God, Washington's going to beat them by 60.
Brandon, what do you got?
Hopefully Washington can rebound. Yeah, what was the spread again? I'm sorry.
30.
30. Yeah, Washington, 49 to 3. They're going to kill.
All right, give me Washington as well. Next, number 17 USC at number 10 Stanford. Stanford, 5-point favorite.
Stanford by 7.
Yeah, I picked Stanford to beat USC, so I'm going to take, yes. What was the spread? I'm sorry.
5.
5. Yeah.
Stanford at home.
Yeah, Stanford wins.
I'm sorry, not Notre Dame. USC looked bad week 1. They were losing to whoever the hell they played in the Coliseum. Now they got to go to Stanford. Probably overlooking the game, to be honest with you. But
yeah, they beat UNLV, I think, 42-33.
And UNLV was up for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think they're like 50,000 to 1 to win the national championship this year.
So Stanford by 10.
I got Stanford as well. Fun fact I wanted to give you: Ball State is 4-1 against the spread against Power 5 teams. So I'm hoping they go 5-1, but we will see.
If it was 35.5, I'd be a little bit more nervous. 34.5, though.
It's 5 touchdowns. It's over. So I could lose on a half-point bad beat. That's the thing right there, like you just said.
Well, it'd be a bad beat if Notre Dame scores like a pick. If they're up by 28 and they get a pick 6
and
with
then
a minute
lose.
left and you lose, that would be your bad beat.
I know. Hopefully we can come back next week and it's a little different. So last one, number 15, Michigan State at Arizona State. Arizona State 6.5-point start off on the game. So Michigan State's 6.5-point favorite.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Man, Arizona State won last week, I believe.
Yes, Herm Edwards' first game, first win.
So Michigan State by 10. So Michigan State will cover.
Michigan State on the road against Arizona State. They're going to go into a hostile environment. Everyone's excited for Herm Edwards. I'm excited for Herm Edwards. I don't want to say it's going to be an upset, but Michigan State is not going to blow them out, and they're not going to beat them by more than a touchdown. So give me Michigan State wins the game. Last-second field goal, Arizona State covers.
I'm going to take Michigan State in this one. I think they're pissed off at what just happened last week with Utah State, and that shouldn't have been that close. So I know a lot of people are picking Arizona State to upset them. I think they win by 14. So next, we can go right into the into NFL NFC North preview. Brandon, let's hear your rundown.
Alrighty, you said
NFC North.
NFC North.
Did you do research on them? Because these are the last two conferences.
He did more research on the AFC
Divisions.
South.
No, I did a little
we said
research.
the AFC West.
I did a little research. So Minnesota, they're bringing in Kirk Cousins. They let Case Keenum go. I think they still will be good. Green Bay, they hopefully will have Aaron Rodgers for a whole year. So we'll see how that goes. I think they're going to be good as well. They're going to make the playoffs. Give a little giveaway into my picks. Detroit, it's going to be tough this year. And then Chicago is just Chicago, even if they did just get Mac. But let's just go right into my picks. Minnesota 13-3.
So a repeat of last year.
Yeah, repeat of last year. Green Bay 11-5. Them two will make the playoffs. Detroit 8-8. I just went over their schedule again before we started, and I still only got 8 wins. And Chicago 6-10. So, what?
I was just gonna, dude. Everything there is the exact same as mine, except Minnesota's record. I mean, down the line records are the same on mine, so I can skip Bear. But go ahead.
Yeah, if Aaron Rodgers is there all year and he plays consistently, even though I'm a huge Notre Dame fan and Deshaun Kaiser is their backup, represent Toledo. They're 11-5, 12-4. So Green Bay is going to be good. Detroit, they're going to struggle. With the hire of Matt Patricia. Defensive minded, New England still only had the 29th defense last year,
He shaved his beard, didn't he?
I don't know. It's not as long as it was before.
He still has the beard.
Yeah, but in Chicago, that defense has definitely improved with Mac. They're still 6-10.
Yeah, because they got Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'll just go real quick. Almost identical. I have Minnesota though at 12-4. Green Bay 11-5 like you had, Detroit 8-8 like you had, Chicago 6-10 like you had. So, Bear, what do you got?
So I have Minnesota and Green Bay both at 11-5. I have Minnesota with a 4-2 division record, Green Bay with a 3-3 division record. I think that Minnesota, I think they split the season series. Minnesota with the better division record will win that division. Green Bay obviously will have the top wild card spot this year. I think Rodgers stays healthy. I think he's excited about the new contract that he's getting. Go ahead.
Do you have them losing to Detroit twice or splitting with Detroit and Chicago?
I have them splitting,
Okay.
both on the
All
road.
three?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have them, losing on the road of each. I didn't really want to. I know that Rodgers dominates in Detroit, but for some reason I picked them there. Not sure why. And then at the bottom I have Chicago at 5-11 and Detroit at 5-11. So I have the top two at the same record, the bottom two at the same record. Chicago 3-3 in the division. Detroit 2-4. If I did this a week ago, I probably would have had Detroit at 7-9, Chicago at 3-13. But getting Khalil Mack is going to be good. I think that opening night, they're going to scare Green Bay a little bit. Mack's going to be a monster. He's going to be ready to go. He's going to give them some troubles. Green Bay's offensive line still isn't the greatest. I know they've replaced a couple guys, but it's still not the best. And it's scary. I'm not saying that Rodgers is going to go down the path of Romo. I think Rodgers is a way better quarterback than Romo, if not one of the greatest to strap up a chin strap, as you want to say. But collarbone injuries are a pain in the ass. We watched it with Romo. No matter what, that collarbone's never the same. So any sort of hit back on that again, I think it's going to snap again, and it's going to be troublesome. I know that he didn't take surgery and he took the old-fashioned way, and it's supposed to heal up better, as you just let it heal instead of do surgery. We'll see. He takes one hit week 1 that could change Green Bay's whole season around. And I also could see Green Bay just coming out and just smoking Chicago. A lot of quick passes. Green Bay's receiving core isn't the greatest. They got, Devontae Adams obviously on top. I think he'll be pretty darn good this year. Great fantasy play this year all around. But then as you go, you got Geronimo Allison as a wide receiver, and then who's the kid from Notre Dame, Brandon? What's his name?
Equiminius St. Brown.
I think he'll be the third or fourth wide receiver. The fourth wide receiver. Randall Cobb's still there, but his name's been on the trade block, it seems like, forever, so who knows what's going to happen. I don't think they want to pay him the money that he wants, so I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded at some point in the year. And then obviously the biggest addition, I think, on offense, Jimmy Graham. He's going to be a target machine this year. Rodgers normally doesn't have a great repertoire with the tight ends, to be honest with you. I think that this year he will, because Graham can catch. It's just as long as he can stay healthy, but he's going to be a great red zone threat. Their defense has improved. They got 2 good corners in the draft, so we'll see. Their front 7 is still a little bit suspect, but I think they have a nice young secondary. They're tall, they're long, they're fast, and they're young. So that secondary, I think, will be a lot better than it has been the last few years. But that front 7, still a little bit rough. But when you got Aaron Rodgers on the other side of the ball, it really doesn't matter. All you need is one stop, and you're pretty much winning most games that you're going to be in. Minnesota with Kirk Cousins, I think that
Legit team?
they are. Obviously it's a quarterback upgrade from Case Keenum. I don't have them upgraded in the standings. They didn't do much. I shouldn't say they didn't do much, but they didn't do much to affect on either side of the ball. They got rid of McKinnon, but Dalvin Cook's coming back healthy, so you don't really need McKinnon. You still got Cook and Murray. You got Diggs and Thielen still as wide receivers, pretty monstrous. Rudolph still a great tight end. Where's he from, Brandon?
I believe the greatest university in the world, Notre Dame.
Okay, never talk again. So, they didn't really lose
You
much.
opened up to that, by the way.
I know, but I didn't think that he'd come out with something stupid like that. So, they did add Sheldon Richardson on the defensive line, which will be pretty big for them. It'll be huge, I think, for their defense. Last year they didn't really have a run stuffer in the middle, even though they had a top 5 defense. They're going to have another top 5 defense this year. So I think it'll be pretty good. It's just Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and who did they pick up the safety? George
Iloka from Cincinnati.
So also want to go in there. Are we going to do picks for the, AAU once NFL is done?
I think we should.
The new football league?
Then the XFL on that.
Well, definitely the XFL, but
That'll be next year.
What's the AAU? I don't know what you're talking about.
The American Alliance?
I don't know if I've seen that. To be honest, if I did, it's been an overthought.
Oh, wow, it's a big deal. You've got Jared Allen's an investor in that. You've got Palomalu. You've got a lot of guys that are investors in this. A lot of former college or pro and college coaches. Spurrier is coaching Orlando. I think Brad Childress is coaching somebody as well. There's a lot of guys that are coaching. So it'll be they're Ebersol, he split off.
Yep.
The Sun did, and they've got games ready and televised with, I think, CBS or NBC, whatever Ebersol.
Well, if it's Ebersol, yeah, it's NBC.
NBC. So they're going to have some games. It should be interesting. You've got they're really stepping it up, and they're going ahead of XFL, which is next year, and they're ready. And I think it's going to be, this might be the first time in a long time that we have a legitimate place where players can show their stuff and try to get in the NFL. So it should be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if our boy T.O. puts himself out there and tries to play there. He'd be 45 at that point, but that guy can still catch and he can still run, as we see. So we'll discuss that, look into some things, and maybe we'll do some picks on that.
Research.
It'll be out of the blue, and it'll be tough to start because we won't have any idea.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Just to backtrack a little bit, since I am a Lions fan, I'm just going over their schedule again. They will start off 2-0. And then they are going to lose their next 3. And if you're looking at that Bear and Gary, it is a Week 4 matchup of Dallas. They will lose that game.
Wait, you think they're going to win at San Francisco?
Yes, they're going to win
You're
at
high.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
They're going to start off 2-0.
Garoppolo's beating them.
Then they're going to lose
Detroit
at...
can only win on turf.
No, they're going to lose against New England. They're going to lose at Dallas.
Well,
They're going to
defenses-
lose.
So, you know,
They're
next
going to lose
week,
against Green Bay.
next week we'll get into the pick'em here in a little bit, but it sounds like we're already going to take San Francisco because you and I are going to agree. But before we get into some of the pick'em stuff, which would be after we cover the NFC South, Brandon, can you run down your NFC South preview for us?
Yeah, I can do that right now.
Beautiful. Did your grandma give you your paperwork again?
No, I haven't stopped over there in a while. I need to because pick up a paper, look at it.
rude.
I know, right?
Poor
So,
grandma.
NFC South. I'm just going to give you my picks right now. Atlanta, 12-4. They make the playoffs. Obviously, they win the division. New Orleans, 11-5. They also make the playoffs. So those are the 2 wild cards right there: New Orleans and Green Bay. Carolina, 9-7. Tampa Bay, 5-11.
Nice. Bear?
I have New Orleans at 12-4, Atlanta at 12-4, New Orleans with a crazy tiebreaker. I do have them splitting. I'm picking New Orleans to win the division. So give me New Orleans to win the division. Atlanta will be the first wild card. I said Green Bay was going to be the first. Atlanta will be the first wild card. Green Bay the second wild card. Carolina 9-7, Tampa 3-13. They're going to struggle this year. They have a tough schedule. Jameis is gone for the first 4 weeks. It's going to be a mess down there in Tampa Bay. I think Fitzpatrick's their quarterback.
Right.
So we'll see. New coach. Tampa's going to have a rough year. Carolina, they're going to be good, but they're just in the wrong division. They'd be a playoff team in any other division in football, to be honest with you. But
Even the NFC East?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to have a better record than Dallas. You know what? And honestly, right now, with everything coming out of Philly, with Foles starting, it's starting to make my prediction look bad because they don't. Wentz, they said maybe week 2 or 3, but they think it could be up to week 6. You know,
Could
they're
be
looking.
later, yeah.
They're looking at his long-term future because if he tears that ACL again, man, he's done.
Which sucks because he is an amazing quarterback.
Well, and they said that it wasn't, a normal ACL tear. They said that this was major, and that's why it's taking much longer than what it should be. So, with Foles starting off the year, even though he had a good run in the playoffs and, won the Super Bowl, obviously, he's not looked good in camp. A lot of people have said he's looked very bad and inaccurate.
And it's tough to come back and defend Super Bowl. I mean, as we know.
And we'll get to it here in a minute, but I have Atlanta winning tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's good. We will get
Nice.
into that in a minute. So, for me, New Orleans, I have it 13-3. I just think with that defense last year, with those rookies that came up, they stepped it up. I actually have the Saints. I didn't get to pick until like the 8th defense, and I ended up with the Saints, and I was happy to end up with the Saints. Give me them at 13-3, winning the division. Atlanta 11-5, Carolina 9-7, Tampa Bay as well 3-13. Bear, I know we match up on Carolina and Tampa Bay. Like you said, Jameis.
Where'd you have Atlanta at? Sorry,
I had them at 11-5.
playoffs, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're gonna be the second wild card. I have them and Green Bay both at 11-5, but I think they'll be the 6th seed. Green Bay the 5. Your 1 is gonna be New Orleans. I think Minnesota will be 2. Philly will be 3, and got to think of the other division now. Oh, the West. So that would be
The Rams.
the Rams.
You sure
Yeah.
that they're not
They might be 1, 2, or 3. I forgot about the Rams. They're probably going to be.
There's going to be
I think they'll be 2.
I think that this year with the teams that we have up there, granted injuries can change everything around. There's a lot of elite teams and there's a lot of crap mediocre teams. So I think you're going to see a lot of big records this year and a lot of odd tiebreakers. You're going to see the Rams potentially at 13-3, New Orleans potentially at 13-3, 12-4s, 11-5s, and then you're going to see a lot of 9-7, 8-8 garbage down there, but they won't make the playoffs. They'll have no chance.
That rundown. Give me New Orleans at 1, Rams at 2, Minnesota at 3,
Philly at 4.
Philly at 4, and then Green Bay at 5, and Atlanta at 6.
That's a good play. I think those would be my playoff teams, just in a different jumbled format.
Now,
I think the Rams are going to be the 1 seed. I would have New Orleans as the 2 seed. I'd have Minnesota as the 3, Philly as the 4, Atlanta as the 5, Green Bay as the 6.
So we just swapped on 2 things. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it plays out.
I have San Francisco being the first team out at 10-6.
Yeah, and would we love to see? I would love to see as a Dallas fan them there. We just don't know. I mean, they get Zeke back. We don't know how this wide receiver core is going to go. I have a lot of faith in Gallup, but we just don't know.
It's going to be an 8-8 year where they don't fire Jason Garrett.
which is ridiculous. So, and we'll get into that later too, because we have a question from Justin on the Twitter. But let's get into this NFL Week 1 picks. And Bear, can you just kind of give us a rundown on what we're doing?
Yeah, so, for the listener league that I want to do, I posted on Facebook, Over the Line Sports Podcast, and on Twitter at OTL Sports Pod of our ESPN.com Pigskin Pickem League. We haven't talked about the prizes that we're going to give out. It's definitely going to be some OTL swag for sure.
Definitely.
Potentially some other prizes, but we want you guys to get in here, and girls. I shouldn't discriminate there.
I think the ex-wife might try to get in there. She said she wants to destroy us, so
and
we'll see what happens.
I bet she would too. She destroyed you the first time for about half of everything you got. So
not really, but we agreed, sort of.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyways, yeah, ESPN.com. Go to Pigskin Pickem, and our league name is Over the Line Sports. And obviously,
I think it's Over the Line Sports Pod, isn't it?
It is. It is Over the Line
and
Sports.
Over the Line
Pod.
is one word.
Over the Line is one word. Space Sports space Pod. And we want to get as many people in here. It's just a straight pick 'em, no spread, no confidence, none of that. We're just picking games. So what we want to do is play against all of you out there in listener land for a whole, whatever prizes we can do. If we decide we want to do weekly prizes, we may. If we do, quarterly prize every 4 weeks, something like that. Maybe we just do a big prize at the end of the year for the winner. But we don't think that you can beat us, and that's why we're doing this. And the hardest thing in the world is going to be Gary, myself, and Brandon deciding on who we want to pick. Luckily,
it's going to be easy.
Luckily, there's 3 of us, so there's not going to be. I mean, there's going to be disagreements on that one odd out, but so be it. That's how it's going to be. It's going to be 2-1 or 3-0. So that's the best part of that. But we want you in that. So once again, it's on ESPN.com. Go to the fantasy page. Go to Pigskin Pickem, and then look up Over the Line, one word, space Sports, space Pod. There's no password. You can just go ahead and join the league and get in our listener league. We want to play. And you know what? If you miss it this first game, which is tomorrow, or if you'll be listening to possibly today or tonight, one game isn't going to kill you. There's 16 weeks of NFL football, and we're doing this over the whole shebang.
Now, since there's going to be people joining, are we going to go for, let's say there's people that join in week 5 or 6, are we going to go best win percentage that if there's other people in there?
We'll have to see. We'll have to see who joins when. Obviously, join whenever you want. Even if you get into week 5 and you still beat us, which is a possibility at any point, that would be awesome, and maybe we throw in an extra something as your prize. One of those things. But as we go on, we'll figure out what these prizes are going to be and let you know how we're going to do it. We may do it, like I said, every 4 weeks. We may do it for the whole year. We may do it weekly.
I think it's
going to have to see.
Well, because this could get costly. I think we're going to do the year, and anybody that can beat us, let's give them some swag. And let's not just give them just one little thing of swag. Let's get them a hat. Let's get them a T-shirt. Let's get them that banana hammock. Let's get them whatever we got to get them.
Or her.
Or her. Yeah, her could beat us. So let's just get right into it. So Atlanta at Philadelphia on Thursday, tomorrow night, which this podcast will be up tonight. So if you're listening to this in the morning, tonight we have Atlanta at Philadelphia. Brandon, your pick.
Just straight picks, right?
Yeah, we're straight picks. So we're also going to have our own picks, and we're also going to, because we have our own record against each other, kind of similar to college football, we're going to have overall running record, and we're also going to have we don't need a lock of the week, but we're going to have we're just going to have overall record for the running year, and then we will do record against each other. So, for example, college football last week, Bear is currently sitting at 1-0. Brandon and I are at 0-1.
And then obviously we'll have the overall as we go through that.
Right.
But also, like you said, yeah, we're going to do that for ours. But also, I myself, Gary, if you want to, Brandon doesn't gamble. We can certainly give out gambling picks. Like last week in college, I played 2 parlays and I bet Notre Dame straight up. I mean, they were on Bovada. They were a 2-point underdog at home. I mean, that was 3-point I got them at. Easy money. Dropped 30 on that. I mean, that's just cake work.
Yeah.
I hit a parlay in the afternoon with Washington, Auburn, and some other team or something like that. I think I picked Auburn with the money line, the under, and I picked another game. I ended up winning the parlay. Then the first, I like to do morning. I like to keep it at about a 3-team parlay. Makes it easier to win money, obviously, doing that. I had Ohio State and Oregon State over 65 or whatever the hell it was. Ohio State covered that by themselves. I had Oklahoma and FAU over 70. Oklahoma almost covered that by themselves. And then I picked Texas minus 14 over Maryland. And Maryland won outright.
Yes, bad choice.
Absolutely terrible.
With their coach, it's going to go to prison.
So, yeah, he's definitely going to prison. So I had a good week betting last week. I'll throw out some NFL ones at the end of our picks, just of what I noted. And
I didn't tell you yet. I put 100 on LSU straight up, and it won me back 175, so it was nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's get into it. Brandon, Atlanta at Philly. Who you taking?
Give me the dirty bird, the dirty ATL.
Bear?
Yep.
Atlanta here, so 3-0. I'm kind of surprised with the defending Super Bowl champs. I think they're going to come out cocky, give us Atlanta. All three of us are taking Atlanta, so that means Over the Line Sports Podcast in the Pick'em is taking Atlanta. The next game, Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Brandon.
Pittsburgh.
Bear.
I'm Cleveland.
And give me Cleveland. So we are taking Cleveland as Over the Line Sports Podcast. Brandon, who is the only Cleveland fan here, is not taking Cleveland. So sorry, buddy. If you might get ahead of us, but the podcast is taking Cleveland. Next game, Cincinnati at Indy. What do we got?
I have Indy.
Yeah, Indy at home.
I have Cincinnati, so we are taking Indy. Next, Tennessee at Miami. Brandon.
I have Tennessee.
I also have Tennessee.
I have Tennessee. So Over the Line Sports Podcast taking Tennessee. Next game, San Francisco. This is going to be a tough one. San Francisco at Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota beats them by 2 touchdowns.
Minnesota. So, again, we are taking Minnesota. Houston at New England.
New England.
Bear.
This is a tough one. If I looked at my sheet, I think I picked New England. But, that's the best fun. Oh, no, I picked Houston. I'm sticking with Houston. I'm going to Houston upsets New England at home week 1.
All right, we're taking New England because I'm taking New England. So Over the Line Sports Podcast is taking New England. So this is the fun thing about us doing Pick'em. So far, all three of us have had a disagreement. So, for example, Brandon took Pittsburgh. We took Cleveland. We're taking Cleveland. Bear took Houston. Brandon and I took New England. We're taking New England. And then for the other one, I took Cincinnati. They took Indy, so we're taking Indy. So it's kind of cool that we're doing this, so we'll see what happens. Next game, Tampa Bay at New Orleans. Brandon?
I have New Orleans.
And New Orleans easily.
New Orleans easily as well. Next, Jacksonville at the Giants.
Jacksonville.
They're going to smother Eli and Saquon. Jacksonville should easily roll them.
All right, Jacksonville as well. Next, Buffalo at Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Peterman starting. Yeesh. Baltimore's defense and DFS all day. I think they're the top-ranked defense right now. But yeah, DraftKings, FanDuel, whatever you got next week, just plug in Baltimore into every single lineup you have because Buffalo, it's gonna be rough. Peterman's gonna get beat up.
And I have Baltimore as well. I Bear, after this is over, I will have to show you my lineup for Week 1 for DFS. I've had this lineup in for 3 weeks.
I just put in FanDuel ones yesterday. I don't have any DraftKings lineups in, but we'll compare and see what we got.
Yeah, we will. And like I said, 3 weeks I have not changed out one player, so we'll see what happens. Next, Kansas City at the Chargers.
Chargers.
This probably will be game of the week, if not New England and Houston. Give me the Chargers.
Chargers as well. Next, Seattle at Denver. I think we're going to have some disagreements here.
I have Seattle.
I want to pick Seattle, but give me Denver at home.
And give me Denver as well. So we as a podcast are taking Denver. Next, Washington at Arizona.
Arizona.
And Arizona.
Especially if you picked Washington to go 1-15.
Let me see. Hold on, wait. Who am I?
You had them beaten.
What is it? New York. What week is this? Hold on a second.
I think week 10 or something crazy.
Yeah, week 14.
Yeah. Week 14. I have them beating the Giants
at home.
So they're gonna go 0-13.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes.
Good
Watch them come out and win week 1.
Good thing they will, definitely, no doubt. Good thing I can change that.
All right, and another game. This is interesting for Bear and I. We'll see what happens here. Dallas at Carolina.
I went back and forth with this one, but I'm sorry. I want to take Carolina.
That's fine.
What are you sorry about? I'm taking Carolina all day.
And I'm taking Dallas in the upset. Not because I'm a homer. I just think they're going to come out, and I don't think anybody's ready with that wide receiver core. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And they got Zeke back. He's pissed off. So
who is their number one?
Hearns.
Hearns? Okay.
For now, it's going to probably end up being Gallup through time.
Quick story here. I just got Cody into degenerate gambling. He just put money into the Bovado, which, by the way, thanks, Cody. I got a $100 bonus, so I get to play with even more money this year.
Awesome.
So I was just telling him about it, just kind of going back and forth because he knows a little bit about it but doesn't know much. So I'm explaining parlays, I'm explaining everything, and I gave him one last piece of my degenerate gambling advice. I don't ever bet with my heart. I've learned that the hard way. I've donated a lot of money to Bovada, DraftKings, all of that because I picked with my heart. And as I've gotten further and further and grown older and older into my degenerative gambling, I don't do that. I tend to stay away from Dallas and Ohio State as much as I can, teams that I like, because I always want to pick Dallas. And Dallas is +3 this week at Carolina, and I'm just avoiding the game in general
because 3's a tough one,
especially Dallas lately. You never know.
New kicker.
And that's just something I want to stay away from. The other one I told him as well. He's a big Packers fan. And obviously you're going to get to this game, but the spread on that game of Green Bay and Chicago is 7.5. Terrible spread. Just out of
that
gambling,
half is terrible.
You stay away from half on upsides of touchdowns. Now, if it's 6.5, I told him all day I'm taking Green Bay at
Absolutely.
home. 7.5 though, I just can't do it. 7 isn't even really worth the push. I stay away from 7.5, 14.5, games like that. Anything that's under. That's bread and butter.
That wouldn't shock me though if Khalil Mack comes out and Aaron Rodgers gets smoked and he's done for the year. But I don't think it's happening.
I don't see it happening.
But since we're actually into that one now, Sunday night.
That'll be fine with me because that means Deshaun Kaiser gets to start. So
Oh God.
So then Green Bay goes 4-12 because Deshaun Kaiser sucks.
Yeah. Next, he wasn't even good enough for Cleveland. Next, Sunday Night
that
Football.
offense isn't good enough.
You done?
Are you done?
Yeah. I said my piece. Last year, the offense was
Yeah,
terrible.
last year. I was about to say this year. Yeah,
I'm
they're
not saying this year. I said last year.
good. So Chicago at Green Bay, Sunday Night Football. What do we got?
Green Bay.
Yeah, Green Bay.
Green Bay. And Monday night, we got 2 games. Jets at Detroit Lions, first game.
I just said it, so Detroit.
Yeah, Darnold starting. I think over time the Jets are going to take over the AFC East here in the coming years, but Darnold starting on the road in a rambunctious environment, you know how those Detroit fans are going to be. He's going to get beat up. Detroit's going to come out playing hot. Stafford's going to have a good game. Yeah, give me Detroit by probably 10.
I've got Detroit as well. And last but not least, those LA Rams against Mr. Gruden and his Oakland Raiders in Oakland.
LA Rams roll. Beaten by 20.
This is my, and I know we're not doing locks, this is my gambling lock of the week. LA Rams are a 5-point favorite in Oakland.
That's it?
Without Mac. Last I checked this morning, yes. Put a lot of money on the Rams -5 because they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And I think the over-under on that game is like 48. The Rams might put up 42 alone. And Oakland will score. So if you want 2 locks, I don't care how you do it, whether you want to parlay it or whether you want to do them single, Rams -5 all day, over 48, over 48. If that line goes up to 50, that's probably where I max it out. 50.5 is where I stop. So 50, I'm still betting the over on that. 50.5, I'm done. But if it stays at 48, 48.5, give me the over of that game. Give me the Rams big.
Yeah, if I bet this week on anything, I'm taking the Rams too. That is a good lock. I did not know it was only 5. Yeah, definitely Rams more than 5. And that could be a guarantee on this podcast. I'm almost definite on a guarantee for that.
Definitely -5. I try to avoid over-unders as much as possible unless it's quite obvious. I've gotten burned on a lot of those over the years, and I've also won good money on some of those. But yeah, -5 for the Rams against Oakland. Give me a break. They just lost Mac. They've lost everybody. They're just struggling right now. I think the fans are out of it. The team's probably out of it.
And Carr, like we've said, has gone down every year in touchdown passes, so keep him going down. He might be at 20 this year. He had 22 last year, I think. So, I mean, it's just going to be a dumpster fire out there. So, NFL, there you go. We got that Pigskin Pickem. Again, get on it. Over the line, one word, sports pod. Check it out. We will love to play you guys. Like we said, if you guys can beat us, we might throw some swag in there. We're still determining what we're going to do. It's going to be swag of some
I was
sort.
about to say, we will throw swag in there. It just depends on what it's going to be.
Yes. And maybe we'll put Brandon's face on the $1 bill.
Oh, I like that.
Wait, me or
you?
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, before we transition, just to go back to last week, I got a mean text from Stat Guy. So I know that you threw out that question about the top 4 in the college football playoff. I picked Alabama number 1. Yeah, I didn't even have Alabama winning the SEC. So Stat Guy let me know that. So Georgia, number 1 seed.
And
Bama, number 4.
You know, you got to get ready. I just found out that Stat Guy informed me he is going to have a Twitter by the end of the weekend.
He was mad.
He already does.
He was mad.
He does have the
last
Twitter?
week.
Yeah, he's gonna get roasted after this.
Yeah.
Oh, is he? What happened?
I got that mean text last week.
He's gonna get roasted after this.
Did he tweet you?
He did.
What'd he say?
I mean, he's just talking about at will stuff. So
Oh, really? What'd he say?
though he gave a great point, people still aren't understanding the basis of this. You will get your ass sued, and you will get fired on your own if you don't have documentation. I know what at will is. I still get this. Stop sending me stuff because I know what it is. I'm just saying, if you don't have documentation, you fire someone, you will get sued out of your ass, and you will yourself get fired. It's very simple.
So if you own the company, you're getting fired?
Yes,
Because they'll sue the company.
exactly, and you will go bankrupt, which means technically
They
you'll
won't
get fired.
go bankrupt. They'll just pay him off and settle out of court like most cases. That's usually what happens. They can't afford the lawyer fees anyway. Usually that's what happens.
I'm
but
just saying, I know what at
interesting.
will is, but
I know you do.
But my point that I'm making, and anyone can still come at it, is that you will get sued. This, especially in this day and age.
Oh, yeah, you can
I'm surprised
get
we
sued
haven't
for
got
everything.
sued yet.
Yeah, right. You can get sued for
I'm
anything
surprised
these
Brandon
days.
hasn't sued us yet.
Right. So,
Well, if I keep bringing him gummies every single week, I'll keep him happy.
well, I'm glad that Stat Guy has his Twitter. I'm happy to hear. I didn't know he had a Twitter already. That's awesome.
Though it was pretty funny. That maybe that's why he just doesn't come around much anymore. He's worried.
Yeah, he might be. So let's go, since we're talking about Twitter. Justin on the Twitter gave us a good question this week. What football teams, and we're going to make this college or pro, could benefit from a 3-game suspension of their coach? I love this. So this should be interesting. Brandon, you got anybody that any teams that would benefit from their coach having a 3-game suspension?
I'm gonna let Bear go first.
Go ahead, Bear.
Okay, good, because I have 3 of them, and I want to add a 4th onto that.
I have 4. Let's see if we have all the same 4.
Okay, so my first one, being a Cowboys fan, is Jason Garrett. I would love to see him get canned.
We agree. That's 1.
I've been waiting for this forever. He's a mediocre coach. He's a great coordinator. Great quarterbacks coach. Great offensive coordinator. One of those. He is not a head coach in the NFL. Sorry, Jason. Just not happening. And not that Jason.
Yeah,
Jason Garrett.
I agree with you on Jason Garrett.
Number 2, Jim Harbaugh. I think that every
I
Michigan
agree
fan
again.
would love to see him get suspended for probably ever. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't make it through the year, depending on how they go. I honestly think that if he doesn't play McCaffrey here in the next couple of weeks, that it'll pretty much be his time out of there. So that's it. Number 3, Willie Taggart, Florida State. Wow, Monday night. That was bad.
What was it, 24-3?
Yeah, he had everything ahead of him. And don't get me wrong, Florida State was on the end of a lot of bad calls. I hate Florida State with most of my heart. Not quite as much as I hate Michigan, but most of my heart. Not a big Florida State guy. And wow, there were some really bad calls. They scored a touchdown, and it wasn't reviewed. It was quite obvious. So I'm shocked that that didn't happen there for them. I think that Virginia Tech has a great defense, but that was rough. But yeah, Willie Taggart, man, you're a Florida State guy through and through, and you come your first game and just get handed to you at home. You can't be doing that. And last but not least is my all-time least favorite coach ever, Chip Kelly. The dude is just bad at everything he does.
We agree. 3 of 4, we agreed.
He had what, 2 good years at Oregon, and
Yep.
for some reason everyone thought he was a godsend, just because he runs an up-tempo offense. And then people found out how to manage it. So whatever.
It's funny going from college to pro. A lot of guys can't do it, and we look at Harbaugh. He can't go from pro to college.
Yeah.
He went college pro to college, but we see he's not done much with Michigan.
No.
So we agreed on 3 of those. I had Harbaugh, Garrett, and Kelly. My 4th was, and I'm doing this for Justin on the Twitter, Cincinnati Bengals, Marvin Lewis.
Yeah.
Suspend him for an entire year, then fire him. Just get rid of him. He's done. This year he's gone. I mean, if they keep him after this year, they are just a ridiculous, dumb team and franchise. I think they're already there for keeping. What is it, 16 years for him now?
Yeah.
And what has he done? Nothing? Yeah,
Made the
okay.
playoffs.
He has lost to Pittsburgh a couple times in the playoffs, right? That's about it.
Yeah.
He's done nothing. Brandon, you got anything different?
Unfortunately, no. I had Garrett. I had Marvin Lewis, and for my one college, I had Harbaugh. So
We all pretty much agree. So we'll just move on to the next thing. So this message, I'm going to throw this right out to Lynette, who listens to our podcast. And she is actually a good friend and coworker. We are switching to wrestling, but I recommend you listen to this one about wrestling because we're going to have some fun with this one. We got some good information here. And speaking of which, this is the last week that we are leaving everything together, sports and wrestling. Next week we go to 2 episodes a week. So on Wednesday night at the latest or Thursday morning, we will have our sports podcast episode out for the week, and then on Saturday or Sunday we will drop the wrestling episode. So keep some ideas out there. Give us some topics to talk about with sports or wrestling. Next week for sports, we're going to cover our normal stuff, but our topic is going to be the greatest thing that has ever happened to one of our sports teams or people or whatever, like our greatest moment in sports, not personally, but just it's the teams that we're fans of, and our least favorite, or what it was the most heartbreaking. And then same thing for wrestling next week, the greatest moment in wrestling for us and the least favorite moment. So be on the lookout for that next week. 2 episodes dropping at you, 9 and 10. We will be ready for it. So let's go right into the Jason debate. I loved his question this week. It was quite funny. Randy Orton is currently being investigated by WWE for claims of harassment. He would like to hear our comments about the complaint, and how would you react to Randy's handshake rib? So, Brandon, are you aware of the handshake rib? Are you aware of what it is?
I think I am, but
Okay.
I might step away and just let you guys talk.
No. You
Can you
can talk
please
about-
explain
yeah,
what the handshake rib is?
I can go into it if Brandon doesn't want to.
I want to know if he knows what it is.
I think I do, but I'm not gonna.
Okay,
I'm not gonna admit
I'll
it
just
here.
do
I'm
it
sorry.
for you. So what
Just nod when Gary
I
goes
will.
into this.
So
I think I know.
in 2012, this claim is coming from. So apparently what Randy used to do with writers, new writers that would come on to WWE, he would drop his pants and have his private area out and would then just ask people to shake his hand. So that is the handshake rib, and it's interesting to me to hear that. Brandon, what do you think about this with Randy Orton, this coming out, and it's from 2012, the claims of harassment? What do you think about it, and how would you react to it?
I mean, I hope it's not true. I mean, that's pretty sad if it's true. I don't know. Maybe that's why he's been off camera for a while. I don't know. Maybe they're handling something.
He's been on camera with Jeff Hardy.
Well, I know he has, but he hasn't been on like every
Well, he
week.
was hurt, but
So I don't know. I mean, I hope it's not true. It's pretty weird. If it is,
well, look at it this way. This is, and I'll
especially with everything that's going on now, I don't know how you can get away. I know it was 2012, but still.
And I'll jump into this because I know you don't want to talk too much about it. So first off, Randy is one of those guys who gets away with anything there. He's had the wellness policy that he's broken, and he's still there. He's had some other claims against him, and he's still there. Some episodes in the back where he has fought with people.
Bullying, right?
Yes, bullying. Yeah. He has had that. Kind of like JBL, he had some bullying as well in the past. And, these claims came out, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's true and they still keep him because it's Randy Orton and he's a third-generation superstar. They're going to keep him there. If it was me as a writer, I would not know what I would do. I would just be kind of dumbfounded in the whole thing, and what are you going to do, go to Vince? Vince will be like, oh, whatever. It's okay. It's Randy Orton.
I wanted to go into Vince's voice, but I started laughing, so I couldn't.
Yeah. It's Randy Orton. What are we
Damn,
going to do?
pal.
Pal, it's okay.
God damn it, Randy. Stop whipping your dick out. Give it to the writers. Damn it. Keep your dick in your pants, Randy. But going into it more,
I
this
almost
was...
passed out there from laughing so hard.
I mean, Bruce Pritchard would be proud.
Thank you.
Speaking of Bruce Pritchard on Something to Wrestle with Conrad Thompson, I think my favorite thing that you guys pointed out to me was on that Vengeance podcast where he sang Ass Man as Paul Bear.
God, that was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Ooh, I'm an ass man. Wow.
It was absolutely amazing. I couldn't stop laughing. I'm happy I listened to that one at home and not at work because I could not control my laughter listening to
When
that.
you guys told me that, I spent like a while trying to find that. I'm like, where is it in the podcast? I need to find this, and it was well worth it. And how Conrad kept it together. I know he probably muted himself because
he had to.
he had to contain it, and it was great.
Yeah.
Bear, how would you feel about it?
Rest in peace, Paul Bear, but that was hilarious.
Yeah. What was hey, Brandon, quick trivia for you. What was his other wrestling name that he went by?
Who?
Paul Bear.
I have no idea.
Percy Pringle.
I
thought that was his real name.
That is not his real name.
And the real name's Percy for sure.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
it's-
Mike. I think it's Mike.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it's Percy.
I guarantee you were wrong.
stat guy.
I guarantee I'm not wrong.
I guarantee
Okay.
it 100%. Hey, let's throw a wager on it. You want to throw a wager on it?
No, I'm just telling you. I'm
Okay.
I'm right. I guarantee it. So I
Guarantee
am,
you're wrong.
Okay, whatever.
I'll ask that guy.
Okay, remember a couple weeks ago when you kept interrupting and it was annoying? Yeah, you're going to get another bad review from Jason. I personally guarantee that.
Well, I didn't even interrupt you that much.
You kept doing it. You keep walking into the mic. So with this, it was Court Bauer who's the one who came up and said that. And
Is that a male or female? I'm sorry.
I think it's a male. I honestly
Court,
don't know.
yeah,
Court Bauer. I think it's a male. I don't know. And he actually, now I'm going to assume it's a he. I'm pretty sure that when he did whatever podcast and came out and said that, he said that it did. He saw it happen. It happened to a lot of writers, but he was almost almost got into that. And as Randy he pulled his pants down, was about to shake his hand. Stephanie McMahon walked in the room, so
I did not know
he
that.
never shook his hand. But obviously, in wrestling, the thing is when you're new, you go, you introduce yourself to everybody. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like wrestling tradition. New wrestler into the back, new writer, you introduce yourself to all the wrestlers. You go around and do it. So when Orton's coming around doing this, and then obviously, whipping his dong out there and people aren't shaking his hand, then he goes to Vince or Stephanie or Triple H or whatever and says, oh, this new writer isn't shaking my hand. Were you too good for me? And goes into his whole bullying thing. So if it's true or not, which I'm sure it is. It doesn't shock me. It's not something I would, put past Randy Orton to do. So I'm going to assume that this did happen. I'm going to go off of, I would believe Court Bauer and what he's saying. It's kind of weird, but it's a rib. It's wrestling. Wrestling is a really weird, it's always has been. To me, there's a lot of weird stuff that's gone on in wrestling over the years. Moolah. Promoters are just dirty skis balls too. Back in the day, especially, not now, obviously, but it's just always been that kind of environment in the wrestling world. And not to say it, but it's a bunch of dudes out there, pretty much. Now, obviously, it's not, but then it's a male-dominated thing, and that's what stupid males do a lot of the time. And Randy probably thought it was hilarious, and it didn't mean any harm or foul on it, but to some new writers, or whether it was I didn't hear if it was to men and women or whatnot. I don't know if the WWE writing team consists of men and women. I honestly have no idea, but yeah, still a weird thing to do. But it's a rib, man.
It's what happens.
Do you think this happened to? Do you think he did it to Mick Foley's kid?
Noelle.
Noelle? Probably not.
because
she was probably
the
young
son.
then.
He's a writer.
Dewey?
Don't know.
Dewey. Yeah, I can't think of his name. Yeah, he's a writer.
Probably not. I would imagine that people like that who he respects Mick a lot. They wrestled back in 2004, I think, is when he was the Legend Killer, and I think that's how it started, right? Was with Mick, with the whole WrestleMania 20. But yeah, I doubt it, to be honest with you. I would assume he would respect that. It's probably the new guys coming in, that don't have any wrestling background, that sort of thing. I couldn't imagine just. For example, if Shane was a writer and came in, do you think he would have done it to Shane? Probably not.
No.
If he, if Triple H had a son who was old enough and came in as a writer, do you think he would have done it then?
No.
Probably not. If Flair, one of his sons, came in and did it, probably not. It's just these new guys, it's just one of those things that it's the wrestling game, man. What are you gonna say? I don't really care either way because I haven't seen it, nor would I. Now, would I shake his hand? Ugh, getting paid a lot of money there. I might have to think about it. But would you shake his hand, Gary?
No.
I bet you would.
Probably not.
I bet you'd shake something else for him, though.
Oh, I might. And just to...
Pretty sure that you have a man crush on Randy Orton. So.
I used to. But just to say, and because I know, Barry, you're going to challenge me in wrestling stuff, and you're going to lose. His name is Bill Moody, William Moody.
That's right. So we were both wrong. So there you go.
How are we both wrong?
You said Mike. So you were wrong.
Okay.
So we were both
I
wrong.
said, I think-
Look, did you see that,
Yeah.
Brandon? He was trying to play it off like, no, only I was wrong. No, it's Mike.
And I said, and if you go back and listen to this, I said, I think it's something like Mike.
Okay, so you were wrong.
Okay.
So
Again, I know
we're
you.
both wrong.
If we're both wrong, I know you can't just be wrong yourself. But it was not Percy Pringle. I told you that.
But you were also wrong. It's not like
Okay.
you were right.
I will take it. I told you Percy Pringle wasn't his name when you guaranteed it, and I told you 100% it is not Percy Pringle. That
Okay.
was the whole topic.
Well,
We'll
you
go
were-
over there, but yeah, I
you
was
were-
wrong.
There you go. Thank
but
you.
not
That's all
the
I needed to
fact that
hear.
it's not Percy Pringle, which was what we were looking for.
I think you just want more Pringles is what that is.
No, but yes, so not
possible.
Percy Pringle. That was his wrestling name. Barry, you wouldn't know. You weren't born when he was wrestling.
What about Chris Kringle? Is that a no?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, it wouldn't be. So, but this will tie into the next thing too, because I have your partner is perfect for you, because you'll agree with it too once we get into that topic.
I bet I know who it is already.
Harvey Whippleman.
No, but
Just wait, buddy.
yeah, just wait. You're gonna love yours. So the last thing here is tag team partners and a team name, and we're gonna debate on team names here. So Brandon, since it looks like you're just up in the air on what your team is, I'll just start off with Brandon. So Brandon, if you remember back in the day, my uncle, when you stayed with me at his house, he called you Nasal Nunzio.
Oh, please put me in the FBI.
No, you were going to be with Bastion Booger, and you were going to be the Snot Brothers. So Nasal and Bastion Booger as the Snot Brothers.
What? Is that not good for you?
I guess. I'm just.
And you're going to wear like the leotard like he did too. So I think that'll be perfect for you.
Sure.
That it?
Appreciate it.
That's your only comment on it?
I'm trying to picture him. I can't picture
Bastion
him.
Bastion
Booger?
Booger?
Are you
Yeah,
kidding
I
me?
can't.
You can
Sorry.
you can picture him. He was big and disgusting and
You're like Earthquake without hair. And in a leotard.
less
Well,
athletic.
not really a leotard. He was kind of in a one-piece
Yeah, it was like a white.
Yeah,
it was like a
Oh
beige,
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
skin colored.
really disgusting.
Kind of like Big Dick Johnson. Remember how he looked kind of similar, but just much worse.
We can see that.
So,
Sure.
Thank you.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
What you got, Brandon?
What do you got?
For
Yourself.
myself,
Yeah. Who's your tag team partner?
I picked Braun.
Why? Why?
Well, I know you're not going to be
Because-
Brains and Braun. What's your team name?
I didn't come up with a name. Sorry.
You couldn't come up with one? Let
No.
me see. If you're going to be with Braun, yeah, I got nothing. That's a tough one because you guys are not at all alike.
I know.
You remember that show Pinky and the Brain? It's like Toothless and the Brawn.
It's like Kane, it's like Kane and Xbox. They're totally different.
Oh gosh.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, honestly, I'm
Bear, what do you
speechless.
have for it?
I don't have anything. I didn't do this at all, so I'm coming up with one on the fly here. If I had to pick a tag team partner for myself, I was trying to think of.
Well, what'd you have for Brandon, first off?
For Brandon?
Yeah.
Oh, God, I wanted to put him with Earthquake, but I couldn't think of a good name.
What would
I had to put him with Earthquake.
you got? Typhoon, earthquake. So I guess
But they
Brandon
wouldn't be
could be tsunami or
Yeah,
something.
he wouldn't be a
Hurricane. Oh no, they already have a hurricane.
Good, they wouldn't be a good natural disaster.
Avalanche. No, avalanche was I think earthquake. He was avalanche as well.
Yeah, it's probably that. It was every single one.
tugboat.
Yeah, they had that too.
You could be Titanic and earthquake.
Because you'd sink in the middle of a match. That's what you should be. You'd be Iceberg.
Iceberg.
Just stand strong.
I'll go with Iceberg. I don't know by Titanic. I mean, damn, I'm not that big. But
I should have given you, since you always eat shark gummies, I should have made you like, shark or something, but I think he was that in WCW.
Shark bait.
Shark
shark bait. Ooh ah.
Yes. Love it.
A little sharky.
Bear, what'd you give yourself?
So just, thinking on the fly and coming up with one, I think I would have been great in the Legion of Doom since my name is Bear. So I would have been fit in great with Animal and Hawk. So I think I would have been great in the
For some
Legion of Doom.
for some reason, I that popped in my head about like 30 seconds ago. I don't know why.
Is that what you're going with too?
I'm serious. It literally
I wouldn't fit in at
yeah.
all because I am not huge like both
LOD,
of those men.
but then yeah. I don't know.
But the name fits in, so I think I'd be their manager.
It does.
I think you'll agree with this, Bear. I put you with CM Punk, and your tag team name is going to be All Talk because you
I
guys
like
are just
it.
going to talk a lot of shit and get your ass kicked.
Honestly, I thought that. Well, this isn't UFC, so CM Punk won a few titles. Anyway,
A few.
And because if it was UFC, I would have picked Cub Swanson. It would have been Bear Cub. It would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
But I thought you were going to say The Miz. I really did.
Well,
so.
that would be a good one, too, because, I mean, like, you admit yourself that you're a cocky guy, and you talk a lot of shit, which you can back up pretty well with betting some things, especially in sports. But, so I gave you that.
I mean, you can't be right all the time.
No, I totally agree.
I'm just right like 98% of the time.
Yeah, except if it's an at-will state or,
I was still right about that. I agreed with you. I'm just telling you
Yeah.
off of that. Maybe Percy Pringle, I was wrong. That was my 1%.
and
so,
I called him Mike.
So I got another 1%.
I was thinking of
I
the
get to
Miz, and I
beat.
was dreaming about the Miz, and I was like, oh, Mike, it's him. It's got to be him. And speaking of which, I just want to mention this real quick. I don't know if you watched Raw on Monday, but
not.
Bree tried to take a couple dives outside and botched them.
Oh my gosh, I saw
Two
that.
of them.
I didn't see the second one. I saw the first one.
The
Like,
first
oh
one,
my
she just
gosh.
went and like fell to the ground almost, and she
even
pretty much got saved.
Even what's his name? Corey was like, I forget what he said, but he even noticed it. He said something about it. But yeah,
Is she the one that had the neck problems also?
No, that's Nikki.
Nikki is.
Bree's the one that had the baby with what's his face?
Yes,
that
yes,
guy.
ma'am.
Yeah,
but I don't
yes,
know if
ma'am.
her feet got caught or what. But she,
Yeah, it was bad. It was a bad dive. Maybe it's at baby weight. Who knows? But she looked pretty good, you know.
she's
And
not carrying that baby weight anymore.
yeah, dude, go back and look at it. You can still see that flat
she's
just kind of
not.
hanging there.
Oh my gosh!
Honestly, I'm a little bit.
She looks good, but she's got that stomach from being stretched out, buddy.
I'm a little bit
my
disappointed that I
gosh.
missed HBK and Undertaker. And it wasn't because of that. I lost track of my days. You know, being Labor Day weekend, I forgot that it was Monday, and then you started texting me. I was like 10:15, and I was like, oh, crap, I'm watching football. I'm already too deep into this game now. So
Well, you got the Hulu, so go back. You know, like tonight
I
or
just
tomorrow.
don't. I just don't care.
You can go on the
and
network too.
Check it out.
I'm very busy.
Oh, you can't?
I don't have
It's
time
not
to
on
do
there
that.
Well, not
No.
yet. I know it'll be
Well,
on
like
Hulu,
3 weeks.
or you can record it. You know,
I watched it on the Hulu.
like most people.
I just,
you know,
I just
Cor-
don't have time to do it. I'm barely gonna have time to watch Always Sunny if I record
Are you
it
spending
tonight.
too much time with Hot Friend?
So I just have too much time in general. Work's busy. Gonna be gone this weekend. Got to
How is
research for
is
this.
Hot Friend? I know Jason asked us. Is Hot Friend still around? Did she make it past episode
Yes.
6?
So Jason owes me lunch of my choice. So I'm gonna pick a delicious steak dinner somewhere. I don't think that was in the rules, but I just made it up as I went. So
So when are we going to Angela's?
I don't know. We got to figure that out.
we do need to do that.
You know what I miss since we're speaking of food, like popcorn, man? I haven't had popcorn in like 3 weeks. Brandon, when you had some popcorn?
When did I have popcorn? We were just talking about this.
But we were, but and you said
Yeah,
you
like-
said you like
I like
the three, right?
The three, you know, usually get around Christmas.
The caramel, the
Yeah.
cheddar, and the original.
And you got to eat all the cheddar. You got to eat all the original first. Get that out of the way. Then
Sure, no
Then
one likes
you-
the original.
then you eat the cheddar, and then it's just like dessert. Then you eat the caramel.
But
so
but you don't mix the
no,
three.
you can't mix. No.
So you
it's
keep
like
them all separate.
yeah.
So you're
yeah,
telling me at
it's
no
like when you go
point
to,
you've
it's
ever
like,
grabbed
dude,
cheddar and caramel.
no.
Yeah,
it's like when you go to.
I couldn't do 3 at once. It's
No,
just too much.
it's like when you go to Shirley's Popcorn and they have that all mixed together. It's like no.
You ever ate them all at the same time, like taking one of each and then
No.
tried them all at the same time?
I think I had.
Two
One,
of
I was
them?
like, oh no.
2 of them?
Maybe the cheddar and the regular, but
Huh.
Yeah, I mean I could do cheddar and regular, but you got to keep the
no.
caramel separate. That's
you got to
for sure.
destroy
Yeah.
that caramel. Yeah.
What about you, Bear?
Delicious.
You had popcorn?
Yeah, last week sometime. Extra butter. I always go extra butter on my popcorn, no doubt, because no one likes dry popcorn. But I always season it too. You know, put a little bit of Parmesan, put a little bit of garlic on it. I don't have the cheddar seasoning, or I'd probably put that there. But always, a little bit of Parmesan, a little bit of garlic. I'd love a good bowl of popcorn.
So
Yeah,
when you do that, do you squirt extra butter on it?
No, I get just the extra buttery, from the bag.
Nice.
That popcorn. You gotta. It has to come with extra butter. That's what you really need. You need that extra butter to come in that. I'm sorry, you do.
I like kettle corn. So I mean, I like kettle corn.
I'm not a kettle corn
So-
fan. It's just too old for me. I'm like that's.
I know you like the butter. The popcorn that comes with the butter. So I mean,
Yeah, but what's the appeal of kettle corn to you? Because I
it's
have
just
no appeal.
it's delicious. I don't know. It's just nice. It's sweet.
It just seems like something
it's-
you'd eat in the 1800s.
Well, hey.
So,
they had to eat popcorn too.
Well, I prefer mine spicy. I got to spice them up. It's been, 3 weeks. I need some popcorn. I'm
Like you
craving
don't
some popcorn.
put like Frank's Red Hot on it, do you?
Oh God, no. I'm not
Like,
a red
oh,
hot.
man.
Cayenne, like
Some seasoning, some
you have
spicy
to.
seasoning.
Yeah.
Some
Chipotle spices.
it might not be bad. Extra butter though is good too.
No, you always have to have extra. But I don't know how Brandon doesn't eat popcorn without extra butter.
Right.
I like extra butter. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Brandon, who do you have as a tag partner for Bear?
Well, I can't go with Harvey Whippleman, so
Well, he didn't. Well, he did wrestle.
It's Dr. Harvey Whippleman.
Dr. Harvey Whippleman. So I'm kind of like Bear. I didn't really, go into this one, so I'm just gonna go off this.
Go off the top of your head. Just pick
I am.
some wrestler, any wrestler.
Yeah. See, I can't go with Zack Ryder because I already picked that before for you. So you know what? I'm gonna go X-Pac.
Why wouldn't?
I'm gonna go X-Pac.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. I don't know.
He has gross, straggly hair and bang china.
Maybe he wants you there too. So
I
you guys could be two guys, one China.
I did not want to have one night in China. That's for sure. What was the best wrestling sign you've ever seen, Brandon?
I'd rather be in China.
You know exactly what it is.
No comment.
That was the best.
X-Pac.
Best one
Yes.
ever. Okay, but what was the tag team name? X Bear, Bear X, Bear Pac.
Ooh, Bear Pac. Bear X. I don't know. I kind of like that. Bear X.
6 Bear.
1, 2, 3 Bear.
There you go.
1, 2, 3 Bear. I like that one. We'll go with that.
I like that.
We'll go with that.
You guys, so I'll bring it up now since, this isn't the Jason debate, this is our own, but you don't know Jason. You've seen one picture of him on LinkedIn. Who would Jason's tag team partner? And you don't have to give a name, just who would you put with Jason as a tag team partner?
Give me a minute to think about him. And because I'll go into mine for myself. So
oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about you.
Yeah, most people do. And unless they want to sue me in court, which whatever. And for those that are suing me, 2 of you, you can just go straight to hell. Anyway, so
about to be 3 here soon.
Nice.
I know, right?
No, me.
So you might be 4 or 5.
Oh.
So I've been told I look like this guy, not Luke Gallows or Festus or Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
So I went with Big Show, and I'm gonna be Baby Show. And I couldn't come up with a team name. That's what I'm relying on you guys for. Cause
Like
I'm like
Big Show now or like Big Show like
Big Show. Dude, I'm bald.
Okay.
Big Show's bald now, not when he was the giant.
Big Show's been bald for 14 years.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
So Big Show and Baby Show. I don't know what to name the team, but
That's a tough one. Showtime?
Show.
Slow time?
slow time.
Slow time?
Well,
Whoa, big slow. Yeah, The Rock was great. That's good, though.
You know, what was that song? Slow Ride, Slow Time.
There you go.
Take it easy.
Foreigner, right?
Yeah.
I think it was.
There we go.
No, it was Foghat.
Was it?
Yeah,
Oh,
was
yeah, you're
Foghat.
right.
Yep.
You're definitely right.
Definitely Foghat. Don't go correct me. So,
You are
let's see.
correct, buddy. I will agree.
I meant, in listener land, you might get Stat Guy tweet me out, something like that.
Oh, dude, you know how many
Foghat,
times we
so
could have been
slow ride.
corrected by now on each episode? I don't even give a shit.
Yeah, we don't care anymore. So let's see here. Tag team partner for Gray over here. God, I do kind of want to pick Festus. I just make you guys the twins. You guys would be a great tag team. You could intertwine back out and forth. But the problem is that, after the bell's done, who knows what would happen. You'd be like any of the other twins who have, who were,
The Bushwhackers?
no, not them. But that's a good. But they never had the old roll. I don't think they had finishes like that back then.
No,
when they'd
not
roll
like
people
Power
out.
Slam.
Yeah, so-
Match over. Leg drop.
Ugh. Is that
Did you
Hulk
see,
Hogan?
speaking of, yes, and speaking of like finishing moves, we'll get back to that. Did you see Cena's 6th
That's not
move?
real, is it?
Yes, his 6th move of Doom.
I don't think it is.
I think he might
it
have
was-
just did it for a house show.
I think it was for the Japanese crowd. I really do. I don't think that was anything.
But his 6th move of Doom, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think that was anything too exciting.
I was
So-
gonna say I hope it's not real, but
Brandon, I'll let you. What do you got for me here? Throw it out.
man, Jericho.
I'll take it. What the heck would we be though? Y2 gay? Y2 gray?
Y2
Why
Gray.
too gray?
There we go.
Y2 Gray. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll appreciate that.
But you are the one that came up with Y2 Gay, so if
Yeah.
you want to tell us something after the mics come off, you're more than welcome to, buddy. It's 2018.
Yeah, it's no.
Okay,
Not-
we'll wait a couple
Not
more
yet.
weeks.
You know, fun fact, one of our listeners, Adam, he always said to us if he wasn't married or had a kid by the time he was 40, he was going gay. But lucky for him, he got married last year, and he has a wonderful wife and child, so congrats to him for not having to make the turn.
Good for him.
Would that be a heel turn or a face turn for him?
Probably a face turn for him.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Is he on like his 7th bike?
No, he's on like his third or fourth, but
Oh, okay.
he's okay. And
Huffy?
Yes, and he works at John's Manville now.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Proud of him.
Good for him.
So let's go back now to Jason. We can give him a partner. Bear, why don't you just lead us off? You know him better than we do.
You got to remember when we did our profiles, I pictured him as Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
And who did he? I can't remember who he said he pictured himself as.
That's hard times.
Was that your Dusty Rhodes?
Yeah, that's hard times.
That second one was better. The first one wasn't very
Yeah,
good.
you got the list down, so good job.
But if I had to, I think Jason would make a good heel back in the day, just being sniveling and lazy. So, boy, that's going to be a tough one. If I had to pick, it would have to be someone who did a lot of work in the ring and he wouldn't do much. So give me Triple H. I think he would be a good tag team partner for Jason, since he'd go in there and work for 20 minutes. Jason would come in and get the 30-second pin, kind of like him and Batista did when they were a team.
Yeah, I could see it.
Jason's just nowhere as
But
big
you're-
as. I mean,
you're
weight
super
size.
nice to him.
Weight size, definitely Batista, but
Yeah.
not muscular at all.
Not muscular at all.
No, not.
Yeah.
I mean, he eats Pizza Hut buffet every night, so take that as you will.
All right. Brandon?
Make one up. Just pick one.
I have no idea.
Just
I
pick
don't even-
somebody.
Does it have to be a wrestler?
What else is it going to be? A manager? You're going to pair him up with a manager?
Yeah, pair him up with like Paul Heyman or something.
So you'd be a Heyman guy?
Yeah,
You guys are too nice.
Man, I don't even know.
All you gotta do is pick a wrestler.
A guy that's going to do all the work and he gets, I don't know, Goldberg. Goldberg would do all the work and then he'll
Be
give
Gilbert
him
and come out with the sparklers.
Yeah, it could be Gilbert. There you go.
Well, I'm not going to be that nice to you, but maybe you'll enjoy this, Jason. I'm going to put you actually in a faction. You're going to be the 6th member of the Spirit Squad. So you've got Mikey, Nikki, Jason. They're all going to be there. So you have fun with the Spirit Squad, buddy. Hopefully you don't get shit on like they did.
Oof, yeah. I mean, Dolph made it. No one else did they?
That was a good episode.
Yeah. What in the hell is that? Well, you're full of crap. And then Triple H just comes out with the holy shit. And it's not just because of Sean. So, one of the great segments
Was
from
that when
2006.
I was about to say when he was still doing the turn away and everything. Those
Yeah,
were
he
some
would.
of the
Remember when
best.
he's like, Triple H when they're outside and their women are getting ready to flash him. He's like, "Hey, Sean, Mr. Fuji, what?" Turns around and runs away.
It was always good. I thought those were really good after his whole Born Again thing.
That was good.
They made some good stories there with Sean, but
It was
I mean,
hilarious.
well, we go from there. What do you think, Sean and Taker? I hope not. I hope he comes and interferes in the Undertaker Triple H match.
He'll be there. He already said he'll be there.
And I hope that it's Triple H and HBK. I don't want to see HBK and the Undertaker.
If he
It's
comes
way
out,
past their
if he
prime.
comes back out, it'll be with Taker. And if it
It
came
shouldn't
out,
be.
you're probably right. But I wouldn't be surprised because they had this end of an era thing before, where the three of them, where Michaels was the ref. I think that was WrestleMania 28. I wouldn't be surprised if he did come out, it's just Taker, or maybe it's all three and they just end it and they finally all are just done. But if it does happen, Michaels and Taker, it's WrestleMania 35 and it'll just be done. Just because, and the reason this probably happened, it could just be to tease everybody because this is what they like to do nowadays sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if it did maybe happen. I don't think it will. But Michaels comes out, they do, I think Taker probably wants him to just retire him and be done, and they're both done. But I really don't want to see it because it'll be 9 years to almost the day that last match happened.
Yeah,
and it would be 10 years to WrestleMania 25, which was one of the greatest matches of all time.
Well, that's why it's stupid, because Undertaker retired HBK.
Right. And
So why would HBK come back? It just doesn't make sense in any sort of shape or way. And
did you listen to the promo?
No.
It could, yeah, because it could though, because
He sold
said
it.
he said it. Is it because you're scared? And
Taker kept calling him out.
yeah,
He's
and
like,
I
no.
think it's gonna happen. Oh my gosh, I would love to. I mean, I was like
No.
13
they're
again.
both in their
No.
50s.
I don't
man.
care. I was like 13 again watching that promo.
HBK and Triple H would be so much of a better match.
And I'd personally want to see if it's going to happen, what they talked about last year happening, AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels, just for me being both of those guys are in my top 5, 1 and 3 actually. I would love that more than anything else, but
I think
Triple H and Michaels is just gold. Always has been.
That would be a great match, but I do think if he does come back for one more match, it's one of those two. It's Undertaker or it's Triple H. It has to be.
Yeah,
I don't see him because I don't see him doing a storyline with AJ. I don't see him doing a storyline with like Kevin Owens or something.
No, I won't happen.
I think it's those two, and it's done. Undertaker's done after this WrestleMania, and everybody rides off the
I'm
sunset.
just done seeing Taker, and it's no disrespect. It's just he just can't put together the matches that he did in the past. And after 25 and 26, I just don't want to see it again.
Remember when he
those
almost
killed the
almost
cameraman.
died and he killed the cameraman?
Both of them.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's just, I have no interest in that again. They put together two great matches to end it. I mean, why bring it back up 10 years later? It's just,
I think because everybody wants to see it again.
I don't care. I want to see Stone Cold wrestle again, but I can't.
I know.
So, you know what?
I know.
Too damn bad. That's how life works.
I've been waiting for that for 15 years, but that's never going to happen.
Wait for what? I'm sorry.
Stone Cold coming back and wrestling.
He's not. Yeah. He'll never come back. Yeah. If his neck goes any sort of way, he'll die or be paralyzed.
He already said he never will. So I don't know. But Shawn Michaels said the same thing. He said he's done. He never will. But it is 9 years later since he retired. Is it 9 years? 8 years. 8 years since he retired.
Well, 8.
So yeah.
But
change. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Did you see the fun thing? I don't know if you saw it. The mixed tag thing is coming back on Facebook Live, where they're going to do the mixed tag matches. And did you see who's in there? You probably haven't. The guy who walked away from WWE, Kevin Owens, happens to be one of the people.
Wow.
Wow.
Shocking.
Way to ruin that.
Yeah. See, no interest.
And then,
sorry.
With the stuff now, since we can just cover kind of a little bit of what's going on. So Raw this past week made absolutely no sense. And, Braun is now a heel with Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, which is just terrible. They are really trying to shove Roman down our throats as a face, so they put him back with the Shield so that he won't get booed. It's absolute trash. Seth Rollins had one of the greatest years this year, and what's he going to do, play second fiddle to Roman again? So way to ruin this guy again and bring back Dean Ambrose, who could be hot right now because he's been gone for so long, and they're just going to shove him with Roman, do this whole thing. They'll be fighting, Hell in a Cell, Braun and Roman, and hopefully what we said last week with the briefcase kind of does come to fruition and happens. But the Super Showdown, I'm not looking forward to that. I mean, the Shield, cool, everybody loves him as a faction. I'm just done with him. I think just people are trying to shove Roman down our throat.
Yeah, I probably won't watch. When is the Super Showdown?
October 6th.
Yeah. And I believe it's 4 o'clock in Australia is when it'll start, and it'll be on the network at 4 in the morning, Saturday morning.
I don't know.
It's that goofy time zone.
I think it's about 24 hours different, so it should be right at about the same time. Should be.
Are they a complete day ahead? Huh.
Close. It's like 22, 23 hours, I thought.
I saw something that it was like 4 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So I don't know. It's going to be.
It might be 12. I don't see that it's 12, but
yeah, because when the Olympics were in Beijing, they were a total 12 hours. Yeah, they were 12 hours behind us. So
they weird time zones.
They're all over. So it's 8, 9.5, 10.5, 10, and 11 hours ahead.
Okay, so yeah,
we'll see. I'll be. Gosh, where will I be at that time? We'll be out with Luke Bryan again, but I think I'll be in Georgia or South Carolina for that time, so I'll miss it. I'll probably just catch up on it on the way back home.
Well, that's good because I don't want you guys to ruin it for me. So I told the wife, while I'm working, I'll be watching it. We'll watch it together when I get home.
You work 10 hours a week? So you're gonna miss that?
Well, yeah, I got to work. Got to pay some of the bills.
Pay some of them, just a few, 1 or 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, you just don't pay any of them.
Oh, well, we pay our bills. It's just I don't provide the money for all of it. But hey.
So she pays the bills, is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, not afraid to admit that.
Well, it's cool, man. You got a sugar mama. That's great.
That is true.
That's what I don't know what those sugar mama, but
I don't have one of those. Never have. Probably never will.
So I'm looking forward to the Super Showdown. I don't know, but I think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and are we gonna do? Because we'll record that week on a Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll give our picks.
Well, we're gonna pick on that too. And then when is Hell in the Cell?
Not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
So next week we'll do, and we can make that part of the first episode of the wrestling, episode 10.
Yeah. No, and that would be good. And
and that'll go out Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be perfect then. And going into that, obviously as we wind the show down here, we're gonna have wrestling topics, we're gonna have sports topics, but as we separate these out, if you have more wrestling topics or other sports topics to give us, at OTL Sports Pod on Twitter, Over the Line Sports Podcast on Facebook. Comment on there. Give us some anything. If you want to hear about a certain pay-per-view, if you want to hear about a certain wrestler, if you want to hear our opinions on just anything at all, wrestling-wise, we'll be more than happy to cover that in the wrestling episode. Same thing with sports. If you have any good topics, obviously sports is going to be more picks. Pretty much NFL here for the next month. NFL and college. It's going to be a lot of football. We'll throw in, the rest of golf here. NASCAR will give a couple. And then obviously we'll kind of follow baseball. Probably, not until we get right into the playoffs there. And then, give playoff picks, all of that good stuff. So, football is going to be big here until we get into basketball and hockey. And then we're going to have a whole bunch of sports again. And we'll have to see how we want to do picks for all of that as we get there. But any information any questions, comments, concerns, anything you guys have for us, comment once again on Twitter at OTL Sports Pod and on Facebook Over the Line Sports Podcast.
And we have that week that the Super Showdown is going on is the opening week of hockey as well. Bear, I think you're going to be at opening night for the Red Wings as they go to their new home.
Well, they were already
they were there last year.
Yeah,
weren't
this is the second year.
Okay.
But yeah, Nick and I are going that Thursday night. I don't know who they play. He bought tickets, so that should be fun.
Good. And we'll record Tuesday, so maybe it's either that week or the week before we'll have Nick on to preview hockey.
Yeah.
So
he actually tonight, just to throw that out there, is the first game of the SASHL playoffs. So
yeah, he sent me a Snapchat with him hoisting a Stanley Cup, but it would be the whatever you said, whatever that acronym is.
SASHL.
SASHL Cup, and he had Zelensky on the back of it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I get that and about 90 other Snapchats of his sticks, and his
what stick?
His hockey stick, or
is that what he calls it?
As he calls it, his twine twingler, something like that. Something like that. I don't know if he can spell. We all went to the same high school, so it's a possibility that we can't. So yeah, good luck to him tonight. We'll see if he wins or not. I'm sure he wanted me to be there, so I'm sure all 8 people in attendance, if they have that, will be really enjoying this playoff game tonight in the SASHL.
It's almost triple when you said they start out with 3. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Well, I figure playoff time. Maybe you get another girlfriend or spouse in there or something. One of those things. I don't know. I haven't been there yet. They do have a bar. Maybe if he makes the championship game, we'll have to go. Maybe we can record live from the SHL championship. Is it a best of whatever series, or is it just game for game? I don't know. I think they may have 8 teams, so it's probably just game for game, and it's just game championship.
What were they seeded? Do you know?
They were the 1 seed.
Really?
Yeah, they were the 1 seed. Actually, his cousin's in goal. His cousin Ryan is a pretty good goalie. I think he actually played goalie at Anthony Wayne when he was there. Pretty
Ryan,
solid. Ty.
That's his last.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
He was 2 years above us, I think. So he would have been 3 years below you guys.
Above you and Nick. Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
So probably 07 he probably graduated.
That'd be a couple of years. Yeah, that sounds
He's
about
a
right.
good guy. Very good guy.
And just quickly, we can kind of recap Anthony Wayne. Another win this week. 2-0. Sitting 2-0. They beat Tiffin. So
yeah, Columbia or something like that, right?
Yeah, Tiffin Columbian.
Yep.
Yeah, so another win for Anthony Wayne. Wasn't as big as they anticipated, but they still beat him by a couple touchdowns. So I don't even know who they have this week. I know they're on the road, but
they go into league play yet, or they got one more?
I think they have one more. Yeah.
It's only week 3. Yeah.
Yeah, this is week.
So week 4 they'll go into league.
Yes. So good luck to Anthony Wayne, and we hope they keep winning. Coach out there, Brungard, he's been doing great, turned around the program, and they've made the playoffs each of the 2 years he's been there. They made it to lost in the first round last year, and in his first year there, they made it to the Final Four, losing to the eventual state champion LaSalle. So that's okay. And hey, you know who went to LaSalle? Remember I said one of those sleepers in the Big Ten, Jeremy Larkin? Yeah, did you see what he did last week? Go check that out.
Say Barry Larkin.
Yes, Barry Larkin. Well, funny thing is, Barry Larkin is Jeremy's uncle. So
see, there you go. Boom.
So we can throw that out there.
Point for Ryan.
Yes, since we're from the Cincinnati area.
You know what? Might as well keep it in the family there.
Yeah. So we'll see. Again, thank you all for listening to this episode, which we are going to decide what we want to name it here in the next 10 minutes. But we are going to be signing off for now. Jason, thank you for your debate question. Throw us, you know what, I'm going to throw it out to you. Throw us a couple for next week, because now we're starting the wrestling-only episode. I want to have a couple topics to discuss from you. Like we said, we are going to discuss our best and worst moments in wrestling and in sports. So throw us out a couple things, whatever you can think of. We truly appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the critique. Don't listen to Bear. I try not to interrupt him. He's just a prick sometimes, and we know we all can be.
That's all the time, really, not sometimes.
You're still a good guy, though, most of the time.
Yeah, deep down inside,
Yeah.
under the black heart, there's a little bit of red showing somewhere in there.
Is that what Hot Friend tells you?
Well, I mean, yeah.
Is she still Hot Friend? Just Hot Friend?
Yep, still hot friend.
Yeah, that's good.
But we are still together, so like you said, Jason, you owe me dinner.
So when you say together, what does that mean?
Well, Jason said that we would be, quote unquote, not together, so.
Oh, yeah, so what he kind of calls it. Like you said, she's still just Hot Friend, and she's around. You haven't got rid of her yet.
Like I said, she'll always be hot friend no matter what.
Oh, I know. She just hasn't separated herself from me. Would she be like Hot Ex-Friend? Like if she became an ex-friend?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Hot Friend. So if that ever happens, you're still going to be referenced on this show.
Then
as
we'd
much
have
as
to.
Bear might not want that.
We'd have to like merge and do this podcast over in her place, and then it'd be really odd, but then it'd be from Hot Ex-Friend's, place.
Hot Ex-Friend's balcony. That's what we're going to have there. And then
We've moved.
Yes, we've moved. We're at Hot Ex-Friend's balcony today, and you can hear the wind coming from up here. It's a wonderful time. So, again, thank you all for listening to this episode. We truly appreciate it. We look forward to you guys hearing 2 episodes next week. Again, we are splitting them, so if you like wrestling, hopefully you like episode 10. If you like sports, which most people do, episode 9. So, as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
NFL Pigskin, get in.
Get your popcorn ready.